Chapter 31. Escape. In fact, Dragonite is also trying hard to hold on to his strength at this moment. However, its speed was getting faster and faster, as it wanted to take down Sushija in one fell swoop while it still had the strength. Sushija was very depressed. In fact, he wanted to just throw the box away and run away. But he was a little unwilling to accept this, as this time he really lost his wife and lost his soldiers. If I go back empty-handed, the organization will definitely punish me. Looking at Dragonite that was about to catch up from behind, Alakazam's instant teleport could not be used continuously. It needed to cool down and he needed to rest. I am almost exhausted now. Sushija made up his mind, threw the box to the back and stuffed something in it. The box lost control of telekinesis and fell backwards in a parabola. Kuai-Long looked at the box thrown behind him, and then looked at Sushija who was running forward. I carefully sensed the location of the leaf and found that it was indeed inside the box. So Dragonite stretched out his hands and pounced down. Kuai-Long hugged the box and felt a little uncomfortable with it. Looking down, I saw a black Pokeball, glowing red. Roar! A giant Radon came out of the black Pokeball, its eyes glowing bright red. The moment Radon came out, white light appeared around it. Big bang! Dragonite wanted to dodge by relying on its high speed, but was worried that the box would be damaged. There was no other choice but to hold on to the box and try my best to fly away from Radon. But these things only happened in a moment. What's more, Dragonite was already seriously injured and unable to perform other high-intensity actions. He could only use his body to withstand this wave of damage. Boom! There was a violent explosion, raising a large amount of grey smoke. Just kidding, the power of the explosion of the violent Pokémon Radon at level 60. It is not something that a Dragonite that is already seriously injured and holding on forcibly can resist. Sushija thought secretly that although he had lost the mission target, he was able to save his life, so even if he was punished, it would not matter much. In the smoke, Dragonite had fallen into a coma, but was still holding the box tightly. Then it freely falls toward the ground. I should be able to escape safely this time. Sushija thought. But he forgot, or maybe he didn't forget. Teleport! Sushija suddenly shouted. Alakazam under him heard it and forced to use instant movement again. I saw a ball of energy coming quickly and exploding where Sushija was originally. It is even more powerful than the rumbling rock explosion just now. That's right, Mewtwo. How could he forget this troublesome existence? Mewtwo gathered strength in his hands and aimed at Sushija in the air. Boom! The energy ball shot towards Sushija at an extremely fast speed. However, when the energy ball was about to hit him, Sushija suddenly ordered Who Did to move instantly and escaped. Looking at Dragonite falling freely in a coma, Mewtwo ignored it. After all, I have helped Dragonite get the things, I have already drawn a line between myself and Dragonite, I have done what I should do, and I will not help it anymore. Cunning humans! Mewtwo said disdainfully. I originally didn't want to spend so much effort to deal with the captain of this organization. Now it just wants to find a place to use the medicine given by the child just now to repair its genetic deficiencies. Mewtwo can now feel its own problems, and it can feel that its condition is getting worse day by day. Life, strength, and potential are constantly receding and declining. If this continues, let alone dealing with the organization, even survival will be a problem. I guess someone in the organization has realized this problem. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep forcing myself to do various difficult tasks. The purpose is to squeeze out one's last potential. Thinking of this, Mewtwo felt disgusted by those ugly faces. However, the interest will be charged gradually. I don't have the ability to deal with the organization on my own. Now words. Spiritual Blade. For psychic skills. Mewtwo has unparalleled talent. When it was organized, all kinds of psychic skills were taught to Mewtwo as if they were free. Of course, all in one go. Several sharp blades composed of super energy shot towards Sushija madly. Looking at the impenetrable sharp blade behind him, Sushija broke out in a cold sweat. For ordinary Mewtwo-type Pokémon, Psychic Blade is just a one-shot skill. As for Mewtwo, it's simply a burst of skills, and its abilities are incredibly powerful. Then, such a scene appeared in the sky. Alakazam was leading a human, constantly dodging the mental cuts from behind, and behind it was a silver-grey Pokémon with a hint of purple. Sharp mental blades were continuously fired from his hands, clearly looking like a cat playing with a mouse. Su Shija felt very uncomfortable and regretted treating Mutuo so casually. The louder it screamed at the beginning, the faster it runs now. The main reason is that Alakazam still has some energy left, but it is running out. How to do? Su Shija was thinking of a way to escape from Mutuo. But Mutuo was no longer interested in playing hide and seek with him. Strong mental thoughts. Light pink beams shot out from Mutuo's eyes. Su Shija was already shaking with fear. Are you kidding me? A superpower move. Alakazam can no longer use instant teleport, and he has used up all his defense skills. If I want to teleport, I need to rest for a while, but there is no time to rest now. 2 more black Pokeballs appeared in Su Shija's hands. Boom! The powerful force caused the surrounding space to become turbulent. The scattered force spread out in all directions, forming ripples. Su Shija was intact, and in front of him, a man was standing handsomely on the fossil pterosaur. There was a Gyarados and Charizard following beside him, and it was Gyarados who was guarding the place. Su Shija paused, took a closer look, and was speechless. He thought he had escaped death, but who knew he had just escaped from the dragon's den and fell into the tiger's den. The Chinese alliance, one of the 4 heavenly kings, Dragon King Fairy. Someone from the Imperial Organization. Du looked back at Su Shija. Su Shija didn't say anything because there was nothing to say. You are. Long Tianwangdu looked at Mutuo not far away and felt the powerful force in Mutuo's body. Tianwangdu looked a little solemn because he was not sure if he could keep this Pokémon he had never seen before. Is this a product of your organization? Du curiously asked Su Shija who was behind him. Su Shija sneered and did not answer, thinking in his heart that you would be in trouble later. As expected, Mutuo heard what Watari said. Product? A dozen mental blades instantly appeared around Mutuo, and he didn't say anything. And Dragon King seemed to be unaware. What kind of Pokémon are you? If possible, could you please come back with me and accept some simple investigation? Mutuo ignored it and waved his hand, causing the surrounding mental blades to rush out wildly. But this is just a technical operation of Long Tianwangdu to delay time. Even though it's stupid. Chapter 32. The end. This is what Su Shija thought, and he was not ready to run away. After all, it's not too chaotic now. If I want to run away, there are only 2 outcomes, either I will be killed by Mutuo in 1 move, or I will be killed by Ryatendu in 1 move. So now he can only stay close to Dragon King, look for opportunities to escape, and buy time for Alakazam's instant movement. Dragon King controlled the Pteranodon to avoid all attacks at an extremely fast speed. The 2 Pokémon around him, Charizard and Gyarados, also quickly dodged the attacks. Gyarados, Mega Evolution. Soon, 2 spiral white beams of light from Dragon King's hand quickly connected to Gyarados. Similarly, 2 blue beams appeared on Gyarados' body and connected to the beam of Ten Otis. In an instant, white light shone everywhere, and Mega Gyarados appeared. The attributes of Mega Evolved Gyarados changed from flying and water to water and darkness. The evil attribute can make one immune to damage from psychic skills. Gyarados, Dance of Dragons. Charizard, Spitfire. Fossil Pterosaur, Rockfall. Dragon King gave orders quickly. The 3 Pokémon lined up, keeping their distance to avoid being destroyed in 1 move. Mutuo dodged all the skills with ease and blew up a few boulders. Su Shija stayed quietly in the rear and watched the battle. In a way, apart from the level difference, a Pokémon controlled by a well-trained Pokémon trainer is more difficult to deal with than one of a higher level. That's right, in some ways, these 3 under the command of Long Tianwangdu may be more difficult to deal with than Dragonite. Of course, it's just a little bit difficult. Strong mental thoughts. It is another gathering of super energy. Boom. Charizard stood in front of Watari and used Protect. All 3 Pokémon had Protect. But in order to be able to withstand Mutuo's attack, you can only take turns to defend against Mutuo's attacks. Gyarados' Dragon Dance has been stacked to 4 layers. Suddenly, Gyarados rushed over, his teeth flashing white. Bite into pieces. The light wall reflected the wall and instantly blocked Mutuo, leaving Gyarados empty-handed. A wave of missiles directly blasted Gyarados back. Mutuo also knows that evil attribute Pokémon have no effect on psychic-type skills. Fighting-type skills are very unfriendly to evil-type Pokémon, and Gyarados was beaten half to death by 1 skill from Mutuo. This was exactly what Dragon King was trying to do. Sure enough, the Pokémon in front of him was extremely fast, not to mention its reaction ability, and its damage was even more outrageous. This is probably the strength range of a level 2 god, which is very close to a level 1 god. I originally thought it was a champion level Pokémon, but who knew it was actually as powerful as a second level god. However, I didn't bring all my Pokémon with me this time. I only brought 2 high-level Pokeballs for catching Pokémon. Now it seems that we are in a difficult situation. If you cannot defeat the opponent and still want to fight, it will undoubtedly be a loss and you may very well be killed. What's more, there is an imperial organization behind them that is eyeing them covetously. Dragon King, here we come. In the distance, the Alliance Inspector followed behind. Unfortunately, in the face of true strength, these people are of no use. What he needs is high-end combat power. Mewtwo looked coldly at the people in front of it. In its opinion, these people were only slightly better than those in the Monarch organization. It's best not to provoke me, otherwise, I don't mind destroying them all. 2 black Pokeballs suddenly appeared in the air. A red light flashed, and 2 blood-red Hydrodons appeared near Dragon King and Mewtwo. Sushija and Hooty immediately teleported away from here and started to run away. Are you kidding? If you don't run away, you're going to stay here and talk about life with the Alliance Inspector. 2 more level 60 Hydrodons with red eyes directly used Big Blast. The powerful explosion blew away the surrounding Alliance prosecutors. Some of the weaker prosecutors were knocked unconscious by the explosion, and the Pokémon under them were almost falling into a coma. The aftermath of the explosion dissipated, and Long Tianwangdu was lying tightly on the body of the fossil pterosaur. The sudden explosion took away a lot of the Pokémon's physical strength. The vision gradually cleared, and the mysterious Pokémon had disappeared. Dragon King was very upset. He came out this time just for investigation and did not bring all his Pokémons with him. If I can tame that Pokémon, I will be qualified to challenge that person again. Long Tianwangdu's heart was burning as he looked at the 3 Pokémon that were seriously injured. And the prosecutors of the Alliance were blown to the ground before they even understood what was happening. Dragon King calmed down and looked at the mess in front of him. The forest was burning, and many Pokémon were in chaos trying to escape the battle in the forest. There is no other way but to allocate some manpower to appease these Pokémon. And send some Alliance prosecutors with water-type Pokémon to put out the fire. Although trees in the forest can automatically secrete some fire-extinguishing substances, manual fire extinguishing is always faster. It is best not to destroy the ecological environment in the forest. Otherwise, the powerful Pokémon inside the forest will drive away the weaker Pokémon for a better environment. These weak Pokémon have nowhere to go, so they can only flock to the city. This is even more counterproductive. As for the people from the Imperial Organization, there was nothing we could do and we couldn't spare the energy to chase them. What's more, he also has Alakazam with very strong teleportation ability. Although he had missed all the big fish, according to reports from his subordinates, there were still a few small fish and shrimps from the Imperial Organization. It was not completely a loss, Du comforted himself in this way. So he now has to go back to the Alliance headquarters and investigate the people in these organizations and the mysterious Pokémon. Dragonite gradually woke up, looked at the scars on his body, and used Featherfall on the spot. After recovering some strength, Dragonite picked up the box, avoided the crowd, and left here timidly. At the edge of the forest, Sushija stopped panting. Sushija clenched his fists. This mission was a complete failure. This is not just a shame, it is a great disgrace. I don't know what kind of punishment the organization will give. Looking at Alakazam who was exhausted, Sushija directly put Alakazam into the Pokeball. Sushija released the rogue crocodile and was about to escape on foot when he looked back for no reason. The slender silver-white body and cold eyes are full of oppression. Sushija closed his eyes silently and sighed, "It's over. Is this the world of death? There is no pain at all." Quite a while. Sushija opened his eyes. Damn, Mewtwo was still there. Go back and tell the organization to wait for me. A powerful force hit Sushija's head hard and he fainted immediately. However, he was thinking in his heart that he had finally escaped. Who? A Union prosecutor looked at the rustling grass in the distance. Dongfang Yan suddenly jumped out and looked at the Alliance prosecutor in front of him. He breathed a sigh of relief and thought, I finally met someone official and I don't have to hide anymore. What? I am. What? Feel the impact from behind. Dongfang Yan was lying on the ground, with a Catwoman standing behind him, pressing down on him tightly. Hey, you're joining an evil organization at such a young age. You're really good at playing around. The Hatted Alliance prosecutor said doubtfully. There is really no way to defend oneself. After a while, the fat man also arrived and the misunderstanding was finally resolved. Chapter 33. Pokémon. Outside the forest under the moon. Dongfang Yan sat in Fatty Qian's car, staring at the spoon tattoo on his wrist in a daze. This is the mark left behind when Mutuo left. Through Mutuo's telepathy, we know that this thing should be able to summon Mutuo. I guess this is the reward I got for helping Mutuo, giving it a bottle of aptitude potion, and then fooling it, no, enlightening it, and giving it the goal of living. This is a talisman, a golden medal of immunity from death. If you really encounter an irresistible existence, just summon Mutuo. What's wrong with calling for help if you can't beat them? If you have the guts, then call for help too. Because after growing up, Mutuo can already resist most of the legendary beasts. But I still have to maintain a good relationship with Mutuo. The golden medal of immunity from death can only be used once, but if I hold on to this thigh, it will be a real golden medal of immunity from death. I am very satisfied with this trip to the forest under the moon. Not only did Mutuo enhance Slowpoke's intelligence, but to be more precise, it could understand its own words better and become more in line with normal human standards. This will not affect Slow Pokemon in any way. After all, when it evolves into the form of Slowking, it will become more anthropomorphic and can understand human words without any problem. However, Mutuo has taken this step much earlier, so it is certainly impossible for him to communicate with humans as smoothly as Slowking. There is absolutely no problem in obeying and understanding some simple instructions. This wave of epic enhancement. What's more, he took advantage of the chaos and captured many young Pokémon when they were fighting. Through the eye of true vision, one can see that their qualifications are all quite good and meet one's own standards. And when I was talking to the official trainers of the league, the 2 gophers that he sent out at the beginning didn't suffer any damage at all. Dongfang Yan was very happy about this. He thought these 3 Pokémon were already dead. They all have good qualifications and are very brave, so Dongfang Yan regretted it and did not let the 2 Bobo and the mole leave. Use the Pokeball to collect these 3 Pokémon. This time it was mainly due to Fatty's report, but I also made some contribution. After all, according to Fatty's description, I was tracking alone and left marks. What's even more amazing is that the ranger of this forest is a member of an evil organization. Fatty Qian was very happy. This time his report was meritorious and he received official praise from the alliance. What's the point of giving a banner? Does a fat guy care about these things? When should the award be presented? It would be best if it was presented in front of all the teachers and students in the school. Hey, just for fun, this is an evil organization. But this time I can show off in front of my old father and mother. The butler who was driving also smiled happily, his young master had finally grown up. Yang City, Yunao Cultivation House. A night owl circled a few times in the sky and swooped into the yard. Grandma Lan looked at the tired night owl and asked inexplicably, what happened? Isn't there much danger in the moonlight forest? Could it be that he went to the ancestral temple inside the forest? Cuckoo, cuckoo. Cuckoo. You mean, that Dragonite showed up, and there were a lot of people? And a really powerful Pokémon. Grandma Lan thought for a moment and it seemed that her grandson's trip to the forest under the moon was not a simple one. After all, the night owl was protecting Dongfang Yan in the dark. There were some things it didn't see or didn't understand, but it didn't matter. Since it was related to the ancestral hall, it still had to find someone to discuss it with. Looking at the construction site not far away, it has begun to take shape. Ian, how many Pokémon did you find this time? The fat man asked doubtfully. After all, he knew Dongfang Yan very well when he returned to the moonlit forest. In that chaotic battlefield, both humans and ghosts were fighting, and some young Pokémon were running everywhere. It would be strange if Dongfang Yan wasn't caught. Fatty knew that Dongfang Yan was now running an ecological park, which required a large number of Pokémon to join and cultivate. Fatty just received the news that Grandma Lan asked him to find a construction team to go to the open space in his backyard half a day after Dongfang Yan left. A site larger than a football field was planned as the initial site of the ecological park. In fact, it is already very large, and the Eco Park is enclosed by special tempered glass produced by the Alliance for Eco Parks. It will probably take another day or 2 to finish the work, and the Pokémon that Dongfang Yan caught will have a place to live. Dongfang Yan smiled. Who could resist so many Pokémons in the forest? However, most of the ones he caught were from a group. There were also some rarer Pokémon that I couldn't help but catch myself. Fortunately, I brought a lot of Pokeballs and caught quite a few. Dong Fangyan recalled. Just as Dong Fangyan rushed to the battlefield between Dragonite and Mewtwo, there was a strong vibration around him. Dong Fangyan was a little puzzled. He had clearly avoided the main battlefield, so why was it still here? The sound of this level of battle is completely different from that of Mewtwo and the others. So it must be a battle between native Pokémons. Dong Fangyan quietly slipped over and saw 3 Rodons surrounding 2 giant rock monsters and constantly using skills to bombard them. But the strange thing is that the 2 huge rock monsters did not fight back, but just endured the damage silently. Through the eye of true vision, Dong Fangyan discovered that the levels of these 2 Pangean monsters were much higher than that of Rodon. The highest level of Pangean monster was 52, while the highest level of Rodon was only 46, and it was obvious that it had evolved not long ago. Therefore, when 2 sides fight, they cannot be completely powerless to fight back, at least the odds should be 50-50 or 40-60, in any case, they should not be beaten. Wait for Dong Fangyan to take a closer look. My goodness, between the 2 huge rock monsters, there are 5 or 6 stone balls hiding timidly. Some of them seem to have suffered some damage. After all, it was the 3 Rodons' bombardment, and some damage would inevitably hit the small stone balls. It is precisely because of the presence of their own children that the 2 Pangean monsters cannot unleash their true strength. Dong Fangyan's eyes lit up. After all, in terms of rarity, the giant rock monster is much rarer than the Rodon. And most of their skills have considerable damage. What's more, the levels of the 2 giant rock monsters are much higher than those of these 3 Rodons. Just as Dong Fangyan was watching and trying to find a way to rescue these stone balls, the 3 Rodons couldn't help themselves and activated their rolling skill, transforming into 3 giant boulders. They rumbled towards the 2 huge rock monsters. Dong Fangyan didn't know why, but it seemed that these 3 rumbling rocks had some deep hatred with the 2 huge rock monsters. The 2 giant rock monsters had no choice but to emit a silver-white light on their bodies, which should be the Iron Wall skill. He added 2 levels of defense to himself, and then the 2 huge rock monsters rushed forward resolutely, trying to move the battlefield a little to give the stone balls behind them some living space. A stronger giant rock monster can directly resist 2 Rodons, and the other one can resist the strongest Rodon. But they were already exhausted, and just when the 2 huge rock monsters were about to be unable to hold on, a loud roar was heard in the distance. Chapter 34. Melee. A large group of bear cubs and a group of baby bears were running towards them from a distance, as if there was something extremely terrifying behind them. They completely ignored the 3 rumbling rocks and the 2 giant rock monsters and rushed towards them in a swarm. The stone balls were kicked around and some baby bears were accidentally injured by the rumbling rocks. The leading circle bear just took a look, memorized the appearance of these Rodonites, and prepared to settle the score with them later. The 3 Rodons, the 2 giant rock monsters and the stone balls were knocked unconscious by the circle bears. Dong Fangyan was just about to go out when a yellow figure came flying down from the sky. Dragonite was knocked down hard by Mewtwo not far away, but it quickly got up and flew into the sky again. Dong Fangyan took the opportunity to take a look at Dragonite with the eye of true vision. Pokémon, Dragonite, level 94. Potential, S. Gender, male. Attributes, dragon, flying. Status, seriously injured. Features, mental strength, through training of mental strength, you will not shrink back. Inherited skills, Dragon Dive, Dragon Dance, Feather Roost. Basic skills, Dragon Tail, Dragon Wave, Dragon Claw, Thunder Fist. Skill CD, none. Items carried, Dragon Fang. Notes, a dragon-shaped Pokémon with extremely fast speed, and is the guardian partner of a certain Pokémon. Damn, Dragonite's qualification is actually S level. Dong Fangyan came to his senses and realized that the next thing was much simpler. He just used the eye of true vision to capture the 4D level baby bears. There are also 6 stone balls, 2 of which are of C level qualification, and the rest are of D level qualification. The qualifications of this litter are very good. One of the 2 Pangean monsters has C level qualification and the other has B level qualification. The B level one is a male, and it is also the highest level giant rock monster that can fight 2 enemies at one. Dong Fangyan has decided to use these stone balls as exclusive Pokémon in the Yun AI Breeding House Ecological Park. That is the kind of flagship brand. Of course you will definitely encounter better ones in the future. But Ishiganko is relatively rare, so there is nothing wrong in cultivating it. After all, they live underground and are almost invisible to people. Apart from working in the mines, there are really stone balls everywhere. As for managing them, don't we have a Nidole at home? Whoever doesn't listen, fine, I'll just send Nidole, he's a quasi-king and he's just kidding you. Then, after a battle of wits and courage with Mutuo, he accompanied Dragonite to retrieve the emerald leaf and asked Dragonite for his contact information, which was a whistle. On the way back, I met the league trainers and the league police. After telling what happened, he found more than a dozen Lilyroot dolls and 5 ladies in skirts on the way. However, their qualifications are quite average, with only 2 C-level Lilyroot dolls and 1 D-level skirt lady. The qualifications of the other 2 are even lower. But Dongfang Yan still caught them, including 6 Lilyroot dolls and skirt girls, of course all of them were female. After all, this kind of Pokémon is still very rare, and more importantly, the Lily-rooted dolls are so beautiful. There must be a lot of people who like them, so Dongfang Yan decided to keep them. After all, the Pokémon bred in the breeding house are not only for trainers, but also for rich people who don't want to be trainers but like Pokémon. Then he caught several Pokémons one after another. What's funny is that after Dongfang Yan got on the car, a cuckoo flew over stupidly. It was as if something was chasing him. Dongfang Yan took a look and was shocked. Wow, C-level qualification, the qualification of Gugu at this level is really high. Dongfang Yan could only reluctantly catch it. Dongfang Yan is very grateful for the battle between Mutuo and Dragonite. Although Dragonite has been being beaten all the time, it also indirectly shows that Dragonite has great physical strength and thick skin. They caused most of the Pokémon in the Moonlight Forest to flee and fight, and some rare Pokémon were also forced out. This allowed Dongfang Yan to get an advantage, otherwise how could he be so lucky? Although it sounds simple, Dongfang Yan also wandered in the forest for a long time, during which time he used all kinds of skills and almost hurt himself by accident. I originally wanted to take advantage of the chaos to catch a few Pokémon, but I ended up losing more than I gained and nearly lost my life. Fortunately, I ran fast, otherwise, not only would I have failed to catch the Pokémon, but I would have lost my life as well. When Fatty heard that Dongfang Yan had caught so many Pokémon, he was very envious. Dongfang Yan smiled and continued, Fatty, why are you so depressed? There should be a few with good qualifications among these stone balls. When the time comes, you can come to the ecological park and take them away. The fat man looked at Dongfang Yan in shock, and tears of emotion almost shed on his chubby face. Fatty Qian suddenly hugged Dongfang Yan, crying and saying, Good brother, woo. Dongfang Yan resisted desperately and looked at Fatty Qian with disgust. The butler driving in front also nodded with a smile, and became more and more satisfied with Dongfang Yan. It seems that I still have to mention a few words in front of the master, but for an Pokémon like Shiwenzi, forget it. If she has good qualifications and the young master likes her, it's fine no matter what. Anyway, my family has money. Dongfang Yan was not reluctant at all to give the high-quality stone ball to the fat man. It's not just because I get along well with the fat guy's family must be very rich, that's beyond doubt, so it's important to establish a good relationship with him. But there is another important reason. Almost every breeding house has its own trainers. They take the ace Pokémon bred in that breeding house to participate in league competitions to promote the reputation of their own breeding house. After all, everything depends on strength. The higher your ranking, the greater the chance of buying your Pokémon. Who wouldn't want to gain both fame and fortune? With the strength of Fatty's family, he can take off without even lying down, so investing in Fatty now will definitely not be a loss-making business in the future. The housekeeper took Dongfang Yan and Fatty to the pet hospital for a comprehensive checkup, which of course the housekeeper paid for. When Dongfang Yan took out a backpack full of Pokeballs and handed them all to the nurse looked at Dongfang Yan in confusion. Dongfang Yan doesn't look like a terrorist, so how could he take out so many Pokeballs? But looking at the butler's appearance and dress, I thought this might be a young master from a wealthy family, and he must have done something strange again. Xiao Yan, come here for a moment. The butler waved to Dongfang Yan. Dongfang Yan went over obediently. Wow, he spent the money without even blinking an eye. I have already done what Master Qian asked me to do. I have informed the Alliance Pokémon Cultivation Department. They have agreed to let you open an ecological park, but you can only have 70 Pokémon under your breeding house. If you want more, you have to apply to the alliance again. The butler looked at Dongfang Yan, who was surprised, and smiled. Dongfang Yan was indeed a little surprised. If he followed the normal process, the alliance would have to send someone to check, etc., and it would take half a month to pass the whole process. Moreover, the newly opened ecological park can only have a maximum of 50 Pokémon. I didn't expect that I would have so many at the beginning. It seems that the Fatty's family is extremely powerful, you have to hold on to this thigh tightly. Thank you, Uncle Fu. I will definitely run the ecological park well. The butler smiled and nodded, and when he saw Fatty Chien go to the front desk to get the Pokémon, he whispered something. Xiao Yan, Uncle Fu still hopes that your friendship with the young master can be simpler, like it is now, do you understand? Dongfang Yan paused, then nodded with a smile and said, of course, I have always raised Fatty as my son. After saying that, without waiting for the butler to react, he ran to collect the Pokeballs. The housekeeper also paused and smiled helplessly, this child. If you raise the young master as your son, then what will the old master become? Chapter 35. Ibrahimovic. When Dongfang Yan returned home, Fatty and the housekeeper had already gone home, and Grandma Lan was waiting at the door with Night Owl. Looking at his grandmother's kind smile, Dongfang Yan couldn't help but feel a little wet in the eyes. Even though they had only been apart for a few days, Dongfang Yan couldn't help but miss his grandmother when he looked at her. Grandma Lan opened her arms and Dongfang Yan couldn't help but run forward. But a faster brown figure ran past Dongfang Yan. Dongfang Yan! I saw that Grandma Lan was holding a very cute Eevee in her arms. Dongfang Yan felt bad instantly, and all the sadness he felt disappeared. Grandma Lan couldn't help laughing when she saw this. Dongfang Yan was really too funny. Dongfang Yan's mouth was almost twisted up to the sky, and his dissatisfaction was almost written on his face. Okay, you're already a grown-up, and you're still jealous. Come here, Grandma will give you a surprise. As she said this, she hugged Ibrahimovic and turned back to go into the house. The night owl flapped its wings as a greeting and then flew towards the backyard. Dongfang Yan could only hurry to catch up, entered the breeding room, walked past the counter, and into the yard. Behind the stream, I saw that the ecological park the size of a football field was almost completed. At this time, a man who looked like a foreman came over, looked at Dongfang Yan and said, you must be the owner of this ecological park. Dongfang Yan nodded in confusion. The contractor smiled and nodded towards Grandma Lan as a greeting. Well, let me introduce you to this ecological park and tell you about its characteristics and other functions. Dongfang Yan handed the backpack to his grandmother and followed the contractor to the ecological park. The contractor chatted with Dongfang Yan, saying that Dongfang Yan was young and promising, but his own daughter, who was the same age as him, had never been out for an adventure. It seems that this contractor still supports young trainers to go out more often. The contractor then introduced the building materials, shape, and functions of the ecological park. Of course, Dongfang Yan didn't listen too carefully, because all of them had to go through a system upgrade anyway. It's been so long, why not check how much reputation I have left? Since the last time I opened the system store, I have used up 50 reputation points and half of them were used up in one go. Dongfang Yan really can't stand it. When I saw this, my god, I added 45 reputation points for no apparent reason. The current reputation is 95 points, and Dongfang Yan doesn't know why. At this time, the contractor spoke again, well, let me call you Xiao Yan. Did you bring back some good quality Pokémon during your trip? Seeing Dongfang Yan's puzzled look, the contractor hurriedly explained. It's like this, my daughter doesn't have a Pokémon she likes yet, and the main thing is, if you have a good Pokémon, I hope to buy it from you. Of course, I'll pay you your way. At this point, Dongfang Yan also understood instantly that the news of his opening an ecological park was so big that it had almost spread throughout Yangcheng. These are all reputations. No wonder the reputation increased so quickly. If Dongfang Yan sold a Pokémon, he could earn reputation directly. So Dongfang Yan agreed with the contractor's suggestion. Grandma Lan also introduced that this man worked very hard during the construction of the ecological park. Just to do a favor, Dongfang Yan decided not to sell the stone balls and the cuckoo. If the contractor's daughter liked the rest, he would just sell them to her. It would be no big deal. After chatting with the contractor for a long time, they agreed that 5 days later, he would bring her daughter over to make her own choice. This ecological park is as big as a football field, which is already very large. The outside looks like the home of Sandy the Squirrel in SpongeBob SquarePants. There is a 2-meter-high archway with identity verification and facial recognition system, and the door is also specially made. Except for the 4-meter-high wall, the entire ecological park is made entirely of special glass, and the highest roof is 7 stories high. This glass can withstand damage from 10 large explosions. You can't see inside from the outside, but you can see outside from the inside. The same is true for the specially built walls. Overall, the inside is a bit empty except for the ecological park. Dongfang Yan was satisfied with everything else. At this point, the ecological park has been built, and tomorrow Dongfang Yan and Grandma Lan will hold a ribbon-cutting ceremony. Dongfang Yan gave all the workers red envelopes as their reward. Most of these workers' Pokémon are fighting-type Pokémon. They can help the workers do many things, and these Pokémon have made an indispensable contribution to the rapid construction of the ecological park. Dongfang Yan told them that if they wanted to buy Pokémon eggs in the future, they could come to him. I will give them discounts, on the condition that they can promote their own breeding house well. Of course, the workers all nodded in agreement, saying that if their children wanted to buy Pokémon eggs or Pokémons, they should come to Dongfang Yan. Dongfang Yan smiled and sent the workers away, which could be considered an investment. As for making pie in the sky, everyone knows how to do it. It would be great if 3 or 4 workers come here to buy Pokémon. But as long as you come, you will make money. After all, it's not just about making money, it's also about reputation. Finally, the entire breeding house became quiet. Grandma Lan and Dongfang Yan were in the ecological park. Dongfang Yan also used facial recognition on the night owl. From now on, night owls can enter and leave the ecological park freely. My own ecological park needs someone to keep it under control, but with the slowpoke still sleeping in my house, I'd better forget it. The 2 giant rock monsters, one is level 52 and the other is level 49. It seems like I really can't beat it, but calling on Grandma and Night Owl will be enough. Okay, now that no one is around, let Grandma see what kind of Pokémon you caught. And you have to call the Night Owl as well. Grandma stroked Ibrahimovic and said with a smile. Ibrahimovic stretched out in Grandma's arms, and it looked like he was so comfortable. Dongfang Yan rolled his eyes. It was a wrong decision to buy this EV Pokémon egg before. Then you look good. Dongfang Yan took out 2 Pokeballs from his backpack, pressed a button, and shouted to the empty ecological park, "Come out, Pang Yan monster!" 2 red lights flashed, and 2 large black and red monster rocks appeared in front of Grandma Lan. The 2 huge rock monsters were almost going crazy with anxiety. After coming out, they looked at each other and started to look for the stone balls frantically. Pangian? They are relatively rare Pokémon. You want to breed them into the signature Pokémon of the Cloud Breeding House. Grandma Lan looked at Dongfang Yan and said with a smile. She was very satisfied and felt that her grandson indeed had good taste. However, these 2 huge rock monsters seem to be a little ignorant of the rules and still need to be disciplined. The 2 Pangian monsters looked around but didn't see any familiar figures. They wanted to destroy the place and then run away. When you are inside the Pokeball, there will be a hypnosis and suggestion device inside the Pokeball. The 2 huge rock monsters were constantly being told to obey their master and not to harm their master, and so on. So they didn't want to hurt Dongfang Yan and the old man next to him. You guys are looking for the stone balls, right? Dongfang Yan took out a handful of Pokeballs and pointed them at the 2 Pang Yan monsters. Sure enough, as soon as the Pokeball was taken out, the 2 pangolins sensed a familiar breath inside. I saved all of you. I paid a huge price to save you. Dongfang Yan paused and observed the reactions of the Pangian monsters. So, you and the Ishimaru are my Pokémon now. After hearing this, the 2 Pang Yan monsters immediately refused to do it. Why? The female level 49 Pangian monster couldn't help it anymore. She gathered strength in her mouth and stared at Dongfang Yan, as if to say, if you don't release the stone balls, she will not be polite. Dongfang Yan sneered and refused to accept the toast. The female Pang Yan monster looked at Dongfang Yan without any reaction and lost her patience. The rock collapsed. A huge piece of stone gathered on Pang Yangwai's head. Pang Yangwai waited for a few seconds and saw that Dongfang Yan still had no intention of letting go. Roar! Several huge rocks suddenly smashed towards Dongfang Yan. Boom! A large cloud of smoke and dust flew. The female Pangean monster was about to go look for the small stone balls. But another male Pangyan monster stopped it and watched the smoke dissipate. A huge light blue figure blocked Dongfang Yan's way. Nidoqueen. Chapter 36. Looking at the back in front of me, that gives me a sense of security. Dongfang Yan was very touched. However, the two giant rock monsters did not show much fear. He just seemed a little cautious. After all, if one was level 52 and the other was level 49, they wouldn't necessarily lose against a level 56. Or rather, we should be able to win. Unfortunately, Grandma Lan took out another Pokeball. This is Big Bird. Although Dongfang Yan had seen it several times in his memory. Before I started, I wasn't interested in these things. So over time, I forgot about it every time my grandma took the bird for a walk or fed it. I missed it inexplicably. Come out, Dabito. A flash of red light passed by. A brightly colored Pokémon appeared in the air, with a two-colored crest on its head, the longest light yellow crest feather in the middle and two red crest feathers on the sides. The great pied pipit was flapping its wings in the air. It was estimated to be about 1.5 meters long, a little smaller than the night owl. Pokémon, Big Bird, level 62. Potential, B. Gender, female. Attributes, flying, general. Status, healthy. Features, sharp eyes, so that the hit rate will not be reduced. Inherited skills, sand throwing, lightning flash, feather roost. Basic skills, air slash, high speed movement, whirlwind blade, storm. Skill disc, rapid return. Props to carry, none. Notes, this Pokémon has beautiful feathers and is extremely fast. Another Quasi-King level Pokémon. What a family, two potential superstars. There was a night owl at level 70 that was just one step away from becoming a king. I didn't expect that my grandma is also a Quasi-King trainer. Although this Pidgeot is not as high level as Noctua, it is still a Quasi-King Pokémon. The two giant rock monsters started to panic. Even though they had attribute restraint, such an obvious level gap was not so easy to make up. Goo! A brown figure quickly rushed out from behind Dongfang Yan. The night owl spread its wings in the air, and the oppressive feeling of the peak Quasi-King level came. Even Dongfang Yan, who was below, could feel the power in Night Owl's body. I don't know why, but my senses have become more sensitive recently. The two giant rock monsters would be completely panicked if there were only Nidoqueen and Pidgeot. After all, there are attribute restraints, so you can still fight. And if there is another Night Owl at the peak of the Quasi-King level, what does it matter even if it has attribute restraint? Level suppression is no joke. What's more, Owl and Pidgeot are the original Pokémon that my grandparents have worked hard to cultivate. The conditions in all aspects are not too bad, and cannot be compared with wild Pokémon like Giant Rock. The two Pangean monsters had lost the will to resist, and the male Pangean monster did not dare to be presumptuous and showed a submissive attitude. Unfortunately, Grandma Lan doesn't want to let them go. Just kidding, if you don't tame the wild Pokémon, it will be really difficult to deal with if something unexpected happens next time. What's more, these two guys dared to attack their own grandson. There's no need for Grandma Lan to give the order, Pidgeot will just use his whirlwind blade to kill you without caring about anything else. Nidoqueen rushed forward and gave two consecutive kicks. Night Owl also exerted force in the air, an array of moon power hit the giant rock monster. In the ecological park, since it had just been renovated, the waves of the attack also raised a large amount of dust. After a while, the two Pangyan monsters lay on the ground exhausted, not daring to have any improper thoughts towards Dongfang Yan and Grandma Lan. Dongfang Yan walked over with a smile, it would have been better if you did this earlier. Why do you have to suffer so much? Looking at the huge creature in front of him, Dongfang Yan was very satisfied. Of course, this will be the signature Pokémon of his own breeding house and ecological park from now on. Although Stone Ball is not extremely rare, its abilities are relatively even, though a bit slow, mainly because of its second stage evolution. It only needs communication evolution to evolve into a giant rock monster. It can satisfy most trainers who have money but not much. After all, rock, ground, and steel-type Pokémon are generally recognized as difficult to cultivate. They need to supplement trace elements, mainly minerals in ores, etc., but ores are not so easy to obtain. The Pangean monster is stuck at that value, consuming a lot but not that much. Do you understand the difference? You won't suffer any loss if you follow me. I will train you well, and I will also train the stone balls well. Do you know why you can't beat us? Dongfang Yan started to do pua on the two Pang Yan monsters. After all, if you want to sell someone else's child, you must make it clear to their parents. So Dongfang Yan explained the pros and cons to them clearly, and it was all for their own good. In fact, it is true. If a normal person owns a rare Pokémon like Ishiganko, he will definitely take good care of it and cultivate it into his own trump card. If Ishimaru really follows a good trainer, its future achievements will not be worse than those of its current parents. After all, it's a preference. As for danger, just kidding, there is danger everywhere. The two of you were almost beaten to a pulp by Radon and Furry in the Moonlight Forest. I didn't see you guys protecting the stone balls, it was me who saved you. After Dongfang Yan's operation, the hostility in the eyes of the two giant rock monsters obviously disappeared a lot. After all, most of what Dongfang Yan said made sense, but his lack of strength was a major flaw. I know you've wanted to see them for a long time, think carefully about what I said. Dongfang Yan said this while releasing the stone balls. When the family members met, there was naturally no more tension. The two Pang Yan monsters finally accepted everything and surrounded Dongfang Yan affectionately. Dongfang Yan didn't say anything else. He took out the prepared Pokémon cubes and gave them to Shiwanzi and Pangean monsters to eat. Well, they provide food and drinks, and except for the poor environment, everything else is very good. Dongfang Yan also released the remaining Pokémon at once. The two Popos and the Gopher wanted to protest, but when they saw the big guys on the field, they fell silent. The two ladies in skirts protected the 6 lily-rooted dolls behind them and looked at Dongfang Yan vigilantly. It was just that because of the nature of the grass attribute Pokémon, it was more friendly. Seeing that Dongfang Yan had no ill intentions, it gradually relaxed. 4 baby bears huddled together with their teeth bared. As soon as Gugu appeared, he looked at the night owl in the sky that exuded the aura of a boss, and his eyes lit up. Dongfang Yan, on the other hand, just picked up the grass and ran away, walking around heartlessly without any fear at all. Then Dongfang Yan took out a big bag of Pokémon cubes and gave them to the Pokémon to eat. Although these Pokémon blocks are just general goods, they are not the kind of Pokémon blocks with exclusive attributes. But for these wild Pokémon that have never eaten Pokémon cubes, the taste is like a delicacy from the mountains and the sea. The baby bears smelled the fragrance and didn't care about anything else. They just rushed over and started eating. Dongfang Yan felt relieved when he saw many Pokémon starting to eat. After all, this was the first step for them to relax and accept him. Grandma Lan waved to Dongfang Yan, motioning him to come over. Dongfang Yan ran quickly to Grandma Lan. Grandma Lan didn't keep the secret and said directly, "Xiao Yan, you should know how the Pangean monster evolved." Dongfang Yan nodded, and without thinking, he answered directly, "Of course I know, it's just a passage. Communication has evolved." Chapter 37, Giant Rock Monster. I was so excited watching Pang Yan that I forgot about it. How could a wild Pokémon evolve through communication? It must have been captured by someone. We have only put in so much effort, why should we release them? As if she could see Dongfang Yan's thoughts, Grandma Lan shook her head and said, "You tamed it yourself. Ask Pang Yang why, and then find some time to go to the moonlit forest to check. Oh, by the way, there will be a ribbon-cutting ceremony tomorrow. I'll be with you. The day after tomorrow I'll be away from Yangcheng for a while, probably 2 to 3 months. You take care of the ecological park and the breeding house. Anyway, they are all handed over to you. Night Owl will stay to help you." Grandma Lan said a lot and Dongfang Yan could only nod repeatedly. "Grandma, why are you leaving Yangcheng?" Dongfang Yan was a little confused. As far as he could remember, his grandmother rarely left Yangcheng. "Nothing, I'm going to visit my sister, your great-aunt." Dongfang Yan recalled that it seemed that there was a top-level trainer in his aunt's family, who was also his aunt's husband. "It's just that my aunt's family doesn't think highly of their own family members." Oh. Dongfang Yan dealt with it briefly and didn't ask any more questions. In his heart, he was cursing at his aunt's family, "Do you look down on me?" After all, he is a man with a system, so he must say something at this time. "Don't despise the young because they are poor." Grandma Lan looked at her grandson with a rich expression and thought secretly, "My sister's family really goes too far sometimes." Evening. After taking a shower, Dongfang Yan lay on the bed and began to collect the task rewards issued by the system. I have not only persuaded my grandma to build an ecological park, but I have already built it. Isn't this exceeding the mission target? Ding dong! Host completed the mission. Dongfang Yan curled his lips, it was an overfulfillment. System. Rewards, 1 ecological park renovation, 1 breeding house renovation, and 10 bottles of qualification repair agent. Wow, the system has changed? Although the breeding house renovation was already available, the only tasks released by the system were the ecological park renovation and 5 bottles of qualification repair agent. I didn't expect the system to give me 5 more bottles. It's so rare. Back then, it took 50 reputation points to open a system store. The system has grown up. System, do you want to take it back? Dongfang Yan, that's not necessary. Host, rest assured, as long as you complete the task, you will be rewarded. If you exceed the task, the reward will be randomly doubled. It's still random, why didn't I see you double both of them for me? Dongfang Yan complained. System, then do you want it? Want. System, what is the use of this qualification repair agent? System, qualification defects can be repaired, which means that congenital defects can be made up. So, Mutuo can also be used. System, what if someone can explore my memory? Wouldn't that expose you? System, host, rest assured, the system can resist external forces from exploring the existence of this system. That's good. I worried for nothing. Dongfang Yan sighed. No matter what, he had to take advantage of the fact that Mutuo needed this thing now. Give it to it now. After all, adding icing on the cake and providing timely assistance have different meanings. Looking at the spoon mark on his wrist, Dongfang Yan checked the Pokémon encyclopedia. It was now 12 o'clock in the evening, and he was once again the champion of staying up late. To be on the safe side, it is better to wait until 1 o'clock before summoning Mutuo. I hope Mutuo doesn't need to sleep. So Dongfang Yan, who was bored, clicked on the software template of the Pokémon encyclopedia and started watching videos. This Pokémon encyclopedia is just like the mobile phone in the previous life. Although it exists in this life, not many people buy it. The Pokémon encyclopedia is a high-tech product that integrates a mobile phone and an encyclopedia. Who would still buy a mobile phone? Soon, the time quietly came to 1 o'clock, and Dongfang Yan was almost unable to open his eyes because of watching videos. Take the other 5 bottles of qualification repair agent back to the system space, and keep them for your own use. Looking at the soup spoon mark on his wrist, Dongfang Yan silently gathered strength in his heart. Big brother! A low roar, timid yet with a hint of boldness. Dongfang Yan sat at the desk, and there was no response in the room. What happened? Could it be fake? Dongfang Yan was a little confused as he watched the spoon mark on his wrist gradually disappear. Dongfang Yan looked at the 5 bottles of aptitude repair agents on the desk, hoping that these things would make Mutuo truly accept him and gain Mutuo's trust. Suddenly, a voice came from Dongfang Yan's mind. Brother, who is it? Dongfang Yan turned back slowly. Chao Meng looked at the aptitude repair agent in his hand, a little confused. It was a little confused about what the human in front of it meant. It was obvious that what I left for him was just an opportunity to help him. What I didn't expect was that he would use this opportunity to help me. This made Mutuo very confused. In its understanding, if you have the ability, you can make an equal exchange for anything. If you don't have the ability, you can only be slaughtered. Although this human was weak, in the forest, he had to admit that he was the one who destroyed the control device. Otherwise, under such high-intensity control, he might really lose himself. Brother, what does that mean? Dongfang Yan smiled awkwardly. What does that mean? Just to curry favor with someone. That's what brothers mean. Brother? Mutuo asked confusedly. Yes, he's the kind of person you can trust with your back. Mutuo was silent. It knew that no one in the world would be nice to you for no reason. There must be some purpose behind it. What's more, these potions don't look like they can be made by humans. Could it be that he was sent by the organization to gain my trust? However, it is somewhat unlikely, because there is no need for the organization to spend so much effort. Mutuo has been wanting to use his superpowers to directly explore this human's memory, to see what his purpose is. But the sincere look in the person in front of me was just like that little girl in my dream. Dongfang Yan looked at the domineering and cool Mutuo in front of him and felt a little scared. After all, he had the memories of his previous life. Anyone who has seen the Pokémon Mutuo movie knows it. When Boss Sakaki created Mutuo, Mutuo had a lot of connections with Boss Sakaki's daughter in his memory. Anyone who has watched the movie will know that sincerity and trust are the keys to unlocking Mutuo's closed heart. Therefore, if you want to curry favor with Mutuo, you must be sincere. At this stage, Mutuo already hates most humans. If he had not happened to be traveling in the Moonlight Forest, according to the plot development, Mutuo would have defeated Dragonite, and then been taken back to the laboratory to suffer painful torture. At a certain moment, Mutuo could not bear it anymore, and in losing himself, he came up with the idea of ruling and destroying the world. Fortunately, I met Mutuo earlier and freed it in advance. Otherwise, when Mutuo truly awakens and loses hope in humanity, the consequences will be serious. Although I am not afraid of Mutuo's memory exploration, after all, there is a system, but after the exploration, can I still truly believe in Mutuo? Can Mutuo really believe me? Even if Mutuo completely believes in himself after exploring his memories. So can I trust Mutuo? The answer is self-explanatory. Fortunately, Mutuo finally chose to trust this human. After all, although it hates most humans, when it was first created, there was a lonely little girl who always accompanied it. Chapter 38. Dongfang Yan looked at the recharged mark on his hand. Mutuo had already picked up 5 bottles of aptitude repair agent and left. Mutuo left a summoning mark for Dongfang Yan that filled him with energy again, which meant that Mutuo had recognized Dongfang Yan. After taking what he needed, Mutuo was about to leave the room. Instruct Dongfang Yan not to contact it for the next 10 days or half a month. Needless to say, Dongfang Yan also knew that Mutuo wanted to repair the genetic defects in his body. I don't want anyone to disturb it. Of course, if I have nothing to do, I won't disturb it. Everyone has some little secrets. Clouds are feeding outside the house. Today is the ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the successful establishment of the ecological park. It cannot be said that there were huge crowds of people. It can only be said that everyone who should have arrived had arrived, and there was also a group of people who came to join in the fun. The construction workers who built the ecological park, Fatty Chien and his housekeeper, as well as the nearby neighbors and passers-by who came to join in the fun. In order to encourage the development of local enterprises in Yangcheng, the mayor of Yangcheng also received the news of the establishment of an ecological park. Sending a secretary to the scene to encourage Dongfang Yan was really giving Dongfang Yan face. More importantly, this made the Yunai breeding house even more famous. Watching the reputation increase by 0.1 and 0.1, Dongfang Yan felt both happy and strange. I wonder if the system has learned the marketing tactics of Pink Situo in the previous life. If you are my brother, come and help me chop it. Amid the sound of firecrackers and cheers, Dongfang Yan took the scissors and cut the ribbon. This means that Yunai breeding house was officially handed over to Dongfang Yan, and Dongfang Yan became the current owner of Yunai breeding house. So, as everyone was cheering, Dongfang Yan announced that 2 Pokémon would be released in the ecological park next month. Yunai breeding house will continue to open in half a month. There will be discounts when the new store opens. Everyone cheered. After all, there were quite a lot of people in China who like to take advantage of small opportunities. Dongfang Yan announced a plan to purchase young Pokémons from the ecological park. What this means is that you get the chance to purchase Pokémon through a lottery online, and you develop a relationship with the Pokémon offline, and if both parties are satisfied, you can pay to take the Pokémon away. If both parties are not attracted to each other, I would be really sorry to waste your time in such a busy schedule. Although such rules are strange, in Dongfang Yan's opinion, this is precisely to be responsible to Pokémon. So no matter what outsiders say, the Eastern dialect will not change. Let everyone pay attention to the official flagship store of Yunai breeding house that he had just created online. It was very plain, with only a few large characters Yunai breeding house written on it. It also listed the time for the Pokémon draw and related precautions. I thought the matter was over, but who knew that a stranger would show up halfway? Hey kid, do you remember me? Dongfang Yan turned around and took a closer look. The person who came was the real estate manager who wanted to buy his own breeding house last time. Dongfang Yan didn't say anything, but shook his head and said, "How should I know who you are? I don't remember." Manager Han's face hardened. This kid did it on purpose. However, he did not forget the purpose of coming here. No wonder he could not find the owner of the surrounding land before. It was not until he saw the establishment of the ecological park a few days ago that he realized that the surrounding land belonged to the family who ran the breeding house. I heard that you caught a lot of Pokémon to use as seed Pokémon for the ecological park. But you are so young, how powerful Pokémon can you catch? I'm afraid you are deliberately releasing the news to attract attention. These words caused people around to whisper. After all, a man without a beard cannot do anything reliable. Dongfang Yan still looks too young. What if his Pokémon doesn't work? The fat man was very angry after hearing this and wanted to beat up Manager Han, but was stopped by the housekeeper, who told him to let Dongfang Yan handle it himself. Dongfang Yan understood that this was a deliberate attempt to cause trouble. So what do you want? Do I have to show you how I caught the Pokémon? Manager Han smiled and said, No, 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 I'm just checking for everyone. How about this, do you dare to fight me with the Pokémon you caught? Ding dong! It has been detected that someone is challenging the host's authority, so the following tasks are issued. Give this system a good beating. Reward 1500 reputation, punish the host by live streaming a handstand to wash his hair. Dongfang Yan raised his eyebrows. Okay, I came prepared. The system has already issued the task. You decide how to fight, let's set a time. Haha. Manager Han laughed, then let's do this. The day after tomorrow, we'll have a one-on-one match at the Yangcheng Stadium to decide the winner. Don't accuse me of bullying you. I'm only using level 50 Pokémon. You didn't catch such a powerful Pokémon at all, did you? Manager Han said with a smile that he didn't believe that this little brat could catch such a powerful Pokémon. As long as I win, I will let people spread the word about the failure of this breeding house. In this way, everyone will think that this breeding house is not good, the ecological park cannot make money. He just doesn't believe that they can persist in opening an ecological park with such a huge expense. Therefore, as long as I win the day after tomorrow, it will be enough. At that time, I can come forward again and buy the breeding house and the ecological park at a low price, and then I can become the boss myself. Thinking of this, Manager Han couldn't wait any longer. Dongfang Yan was speechless. How could he use such a method of provoking me? He really thought I was an elementary school student. Okay, see you the day after tomorrow. Dongfang Yan didn't say anything more to him. After all, true strength is the key. This incident caused a huge wave in the originally peaceful Yangcheng city. After all, there are always people who like to watch the show everywhere. Dongfang Yan's reputation value has been ringing all the time. Never mind. Even a small amount is still meat. So 0.1 is 0.1. Dongfang Yan looked at his reputation, which he had accumulated quite a bit, so he planned to find time to do a 10-draw streak. Dongfang Yan, what are you going to do about the game the day after tomorrow? The fat man asked worriedly. In his opinion, this man was just looking for trouble. The contractor, who had brought his daughter with him, also left quietly after hearing what Manager Han said. Okay, I just don't want to sell it. Dongfang Yan directly put him on the blacklist. It's okay, fatty, you still don't believe me. Seeing Dongfang Yan said this, the fat man didn't bother him anymore and left with the housekeeper. Grandma Lan had already left in the morning and didn't know what happened here. Of course, in Dongfang Yan's opinion, there was no need to tell Grandma about this little thing. Sister Wan Wan also came. Looking at her huge muscles, I felt like I was seeing Neza in 100,000 bad jokes. Wan Wan asked if she needed her help to teach the greasy-faced man a lesson. Dongfang Yan thought about it and decided to give up. He was a little worried that someone might die. As a Pokémon breeder who has not yet started, Dongfang Yan possesses extremely high professional qualities. For example, now he is holding a training book titled How to Train Pang Yangui. Sharpen your sword before the battle, ha ha ha. If you want to command Pokémon, you have to have mutual trust. Don't even mention complete trust, but at least you have to obey orders. Dongfang Yan only needs to make the male Pangian monster obey his orders. How can I make Pang Yangui listen to me? It's very simple. Just build up a close relationship with him through simple nurturing. Dongfang Yan took out sandpaper and a long bristled brush to take care of the monster. The sandpaper could give the monster's skin a greater sense of friction, making it look more powerful. The long brush can clean places that the porcupines can't reach, and many large Pokémon have places they can't reach. so they like to lean against rocks and rub against them constantly. Pang Yan looked at the human in front of him with a little doubt. He didn't know what this person was up to. It's scary to look at me in such a mean way. Chapter 39. Ecological Park Reconstruction. There was no way out. Under the oppression of the night owl, Pang Yangwei began to enjoy it passively. Dongfang Yan climbed onto Pang Yangwei's body and started to polish Pang Yangwei's skull. The surrounding Pokémons surrounded Pang Yangwei with great curiosity. Watching Dongfang Yan constantly polishing Pang Yanga's skull with sandpaper, Pang Yanga's skull, which was originally a bit rough, was trimmed into sharp edges. Dongfang Yan also used a long bristled brush to brush the back of Pang Yangwei, the places that it couldn't reach. Pang Yangwei, feeling comfortable, made a whirring sound, expressing his satisfaction. What followed was a long period of friction, and soon Dongfang Yan had finished polishing it. The night owl flapped its wings vigorously, creating a strong wind that blew away the fine powder that had been polished. A brand new Pangean monster appeared. Its body, polished with sandpaper, looked thicker, and the gaps cleaned with a long bristled brush also made Pangean monster more flexible. From the perspective of another female Pang Yan monster, her husband seemed more manly for some reason. The Shiwenzi also felt that their fathers had become more handsome. In the eyes of other Pokémon, this big guy is indeed much more energetic than before, and the changes are clearly visible to the naked eye. The male Pangean monster looked at the Pokémon who were looking at him with envy, and then looked at his wife's infatuated look, and his back straightened unconsciously. Dongfang Yan looked at his work with pride. It's good, very good. It's worthy of me. This has greatly deepened my relationship with Pang Yanga. Dongfang Yan looked at the empty space around the Pokémon and felt as if he had forgotten something. Grass, ecological park transformation. How could such a large venue, a place as big as a football field, be so dark, empty, and strange? It turned out that I forgot to decorate it. There was no other choice. Dongfang Yan found the Pokeball and put all the Pokémon back into it. The system seems to say that during the renovation process, no living organisms are allowed to exist inside the house. When Pang Yangwei was about to get intimate with his wife, a red light came. Pang Yangwei. Looking at the empty ecological park, it was deserted and pitch black, which looked scary. But fortunately, I have my night owl, which gives me a sense of security. Night Owl tilted his head and looked at the fool in front of him. Before Grandma Lan went out, she gave herself Night Owl's Pokeball. However, he had no intention of putting Night Owl back into the Pokeball. After all, it had the insomnia trait. I'll leave the job of guarding the house to it. It never sleeps anyway. It just wants freedom. It doesn't care about my feelings. Oh. Ahem, I'm off topic. System. Ding dong, I'm here, host, what do you want me to do? Although I think this ding dong is redundant, the system just likes this set, which makes it look very intelligent. System, then I'll leave. Damn, I forgot the system could have telepathy. System, ecological park transformation. Dongfang Yan just played dumb. The system didn't bother him and gave him a picture reference. Dongfang Yan flipped through the pages and found that there were Desert Ecological Park, Ocean Ecological Park, Volcano Ecological Park, Mine Cave Ecological Park. There are many maps. According to Dongfang Yan's current situation, he mainly has rock type, flying type, grass type, and normal type Pokémon. So after much deliberation, we chose an ecological park with a small lake, surrounded by trees and a small cave. Let's see what the effect is after the transformation. Remodel. Dongfang Yan muttered to himself. Then he ran to the breeding house's shop because he also had a breeding house to be renovated. System, how do I renovate the breeding house? Because this is my grandmother's hard work, I don't want to make any drastic changes. Ding dong. I have detected the host's intention. This system can be reasonably modified without changing the layout. Is the host willing? Dongfang Yan heard this and thought, this is perfect. Yes, yes. Okay, deduct 30 reputation points from the host American Samoa, the price for this personal customization. Dongfang Yan. Dongfang Yan went up to the second floor silently, leaving the venue to the system. This system never takes revenge overnight. Early in the morning. The sun is already standing shoulder to shoulder with Dongfang Yan. During the unique wake-up service of Night Owl, Dongfang Yan got up inexplicably. Okay, the sun is shining, just in time for a 10-draw streak. Looking at the 106 reputation that I had left, I felt that I was tricked by the system yesterday. It was really uncomfortable. In order not to disturb the system transformation, Dongfang Yan intentionally stayed up late last night. She stayed up until 2 in the morning and then fell asleep. Never mind, if I don't draw a prize even though there's one, I'll be too thirsty to resist. Open the system store and find the golden turntable. System, give me 10 consecutive draws. Dongfang Yan muttered to himself. Soon, the golden turntable in the system panel began to turn, and the pointer pointed to the colorful squares. Dongfang Yan watched the turntable gradually slow down. Then there were flashes of various lights. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. A jar of rock-type Pokémon cubes. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. 10 random tree fruit seeds. A recipe for making a water spirit block. Thank you for your patronage. A recipe for making a water spirit block. Dongfang Yan. System, what should I do if there are 2 copies of the recipe for making the water spirit cube? System, what to do? Just leave it alone. Dongfang Yan. Dongfang Yan was really speechless. How to say it? You say it's bad luck, it gave out a recipe for making a water Pokémon block. You say it's good luck, it gave out another recipe for making a water Pokémon block. The key is that the system has not yet compensated at all. Thank you so much for your patronage. I really suspect that this system is modeled after the lottery system of Tencent in its previous life. Hey, just play. Forget it, it's good enough that the system didn't cheat me, and I don't expect to draw any valuable items. A recipe for making a water Pokémon block is enough. After all, I can't afford 3 reputation now. Because after 10 consecutive draws, my reputation was only left with 6 points. I looked at the crafting recipe for the water Pokémon cube. The recipe requires some specific tree fruits, some regulators, and so on, all sorts of other things. Dongfang Yan decided that he must buy some materials when he had time. If he could make it himself, he would make a lot of money. After all, everything produced by the system is high quality. Whether you keep it for your water Pokémon or choose to sell it, you will make a profit. After finally using up all the stored reputation, it's time to go and see how the breeding house and ecological park have been renovated. The things I drew were sent to the system space. I feel that the system space is a little insufficient, but the reputation I could not obtain is too little, so there is really nothing I can do. After going downstairs, Dongfang Yan was surprised by the renovated breeding house in front of him. Originally, the breeding house at home had a lot of things and was a bit messy, but now after a systematic renovation it has become much more spacious and warmer. Going down the stairs, the space under the stairs becomes a utility room, which is used to place Pokémon eggs. More than 30 Pokémon eggs can be placed in the utility room. Pushing open the inner door is the shop of the breeding house, pushing open the back door is the courtyard, and in front of the courtyard is an ecological park that is larger than a football field. Originally, Dongfang Yan could see the distant mountains and the nearby stream from the courtyard, but now it has been directly occupied by the ecological park. Push open the inner door and enter the breeding house, which has been renovated to be particularly warm. There is a counter in front of the inner door, and a small fence door next to the counter. Dongfang Yan feels that this is just decoration. On the left is the area where the Pokémon eggs are placed, which is divided into 4 layers. There is a round table in the middle, and in the middle of the round table there is actually a big tree. The tree just grows to the ceiling and is not abrupt. There are 5 or 6 wind chimes hanging on the tree, which will make pleasant and ethereal sounds as long as the door is opened. There is a sofa next to the round table for guests to rest, discuss business, etc. The right side is separated by floor-to-ceiling glass, and the glass room is where Pokémon are bathed, cared for, etc. After all, this is also the job of a breeder. Dongfang Yan felt a bit like he was running a pet shop from his previous life. System, this tree won't grow. Dongfang Yan asked weakly. System. Damn, I can't afford to play this. After entering the ecological park through facial recognition, Dongfang Yan was stunned by the scene in front of him. Chapter 40. Stadium Battle Platform. The originally empty ecological park is now shaded by green trees, and the air is filled with the fresh smell of grass. Looking at the large lawn in front of him, Dongfang Yan felt a little unreal. In the center of the ecological park was a small lake surrounded by green trees. There was also a small hill made of rocks next to the lake. There is a rocky platform on the mountain, like a prism. At the foot of the rocky mountain, there is a cave next to a small lake. It is pitch black inside. Dongfang Yan went in to explore and found that it is about 10 meters deep. The night owl was also surprised to see the scene in front of it. Looking at the ecological park that had changed so much overnight, the night owl was a little confused, but soon the night owl flew around in the ecological park and landed on the platform of the rocky mountain. At this point, Dongfang Yan just wants to say one thing: this system is awesome. Yangcheng Stadium, at the Pokémon battle platform. Manager Han and a group of his subordinates were waiting in the battle rest area. There were also many spectators at the nearby viewing platform. After 2 days of spreading the word, the residents of Yangcheng saw that there was something fun to be had, so they brought their melon seeds, cola and mineral water and went to watch the game. After all, Yangcheng is a peaceful and leisurely city, and because its economy is underdeveloped, people here lead a slow life. This kind of melodramatic battle drama directly arouses people's desire to join in the fun. "Boss, why hasn't this kid come yet?" a younger brother next to him asked. Manager Han smiled and said, "Hey, he's just a kid after all, maybe he's scared." At this time, there was a commotion and noise at the entrance of the gymnasium. Manager Han stood up and looked at the door. Dongfang Yan walked in from the gymnasium entrance, followed by Fatty Qian and Sister Wan Wan. Looking at the tall and strong Sister Wan Wan, who was full of security, Manager Han's original intention to make a few sarcastic remarks was also dispelled. Dongfang Yan and Fatty whispered a few words to each other and then went online to the Pokémon battle platform. "Hey, little boss, you're here. Is the real estate contract ready?" Manager Han lowered his voice and said that he was deliberately provoking the little brat. For some reason, he never treated this little brat as a child. He inexplicably felt as if he was facing an adult and couldn't help but make a few sarcastic remarks. "You talk too much bullshit, do you want to hit me or not?" Manager Han's expression hardened, and then he smiled darkly. "I didn't expect to suffer so many losses at the hands of the same child." He didn't bother arguing with the brat anymore and quietly returned to his seat, waiting for the referee's instructions. After both players were ready, the referee came on the field. There were thunderous cheers coming from all around. The competition was finally about to begin. Although most people were not optimistic about the kid on the field, it did not stop everyone from admiring his courage. "Open, open." Fatty Qian was holding a few dozen cards with numbers on them, which were used to record the amount of bets placed by everyone. "Little Fatty, do you have that much money? Just open the market." A middle-aged man asked, rubbing his hands eagerly, probably because of his gambler mentality again. Fatty Qian raised his eyebrows and said, "Are you questioning your uncle?" Fatty Qian opened the Pokémon encyclopedia and clicked on the balance, which was 7 digits. "You can question anything about your fat uncle, but you cannot question that he has no money." The middle-aged man paused, and smiled even more happily, like a chrysanthemum. "I'll bet 2,000 yuan on that adult." When the people around heard this, they also followed suit and placed bets, hoping to earn some pocket money. "I'll buy the one with the greasy face, 250. "Me too, bet 800. "Both trainers, get ready and confirm the Pokémon for the match." Manager Han shook his head ostentatiously, indicating that he was okay. He took out his Pokeball and released the Pokémon first. "Hey hey hey! It has a brown body, with white fur forming a white circle on its belly, and a serious face with a hint of naivety. Circle Bear." Everyone on the stage cheered because they had already opened the Pokémon encyclopedia and started recording the video. Some people used the illustrated guide to check and found that he was exactly level 50, a senior trainer. Eye of the Pokémon. Pokémon, Circle Bear, level 50. Potential, C+. Gender, male. Attributes, general. Status, healthy, a bear with a special quirk. Features, speedy, increases speed by 50% when in abnormal state. Inherited skills, licking, scratching. Basic skills, cleave, play, 100,000 horsepower. Skill CD, none. Props to carry, none. Notes: Kyuzoku is a hibernating Pokémon that likes to climb trees, gets angry and loses temper easily, and loves to eat honey. Little brat, if you don't have the ability, don't even think about opening an ecological park. Do you know how to play? Manager Han couldn't help but mock Dongfang Yan every minute and every second. Everyone on the stage laughed. They originally thought that Yang Cheng had opened an ecological park and wanted to buy a few young Pokémon to boost Yang Cheng's performance. It doesn't matter even if he is a small boss, he is young and promising. But judging from the appearance, the child didn't seem to have caught any Pokémons. After all, it's still small. It's a pity that the ecological park is so big. Even if you have money, you can't play like this. This was the thought of most people present. They seemed to have seen the ending. Some of them put away their melon seeds, cola, and mineral water and prepared to leave. Dongfang Yan didn't say anything. This was the first formal competition he had ever had since he came to this world. To be honest, I'm quite excited. Our Pang Yan is really awesome. He has a defensive skill and can definitely handle it. That's right, the Pokémon that will be fighting this time is Pokémon. My goodness, I took baths in vain these days, wasn't it just to cultivate feelings? There is no need to have deep feelings, just being obedient is enough. When some smart people are ready to leave. Come out, Pang Yan monster. A black shadow fell down, and a large block of reddish-brown stone and dark brown stone was the main force this time. Pokémon, Giant Rock Monster, Level 54. Potential, B. Gender, Male. Properties, Rock. Status, Healthy. Features, Power of Sand, not affected by sandstorms, while the power of rock, ground, and structure attributes is increased by 30%. Inherited skills, Sandstorm, Hold. Basic skills, Stone Attack, Power Gem, Mud Throw. Skill CD, None. Props to carry, None. Note, a high-pressure Pokémon that will use its core to compress all of the energy and shoot it out to attack. Suddenly, there was silence in the venue. Moment. Fuck, this Pokémon, let me check what level it is, damn, this thing is level 54. Generally speaking, Rock-type, Tsuna-type, and Ground-type Pokémon are all quite large. In terms of size, the Circle Bear is a little bit inferior to the Pangean monster, but the difference is not much. The people in the stands looked at the field in surprise, and then cheered. This is so cool. This Pang Yan monster is relatively rare here. Who do you think will win between the two of them? This kid is really good at hiding. His level is higher than my Pokémon. Manager Han also looked a little embarrassed. Now I announce that the game begins. Without letting everyone talk too much, the referee directly announced the start of the game. Chapter 41. Circle Bear vs Giant Rock Monster. Go, Circle Bear, get close to it, use Cleave. Manager Han shouted, and Circle Bear quickly rushed forward with his hands glowing. Circle Bear started running. The ground was also shaking, and dust was flying. Hold on, and use Sandstorm. Pang Yangwei is still at a great disadvantage when facing fighting skills. First defend and block, then use the Sandstorm to confuse the Circle Bear's vision. Otherwise, if you get hit head-on, you'll lose a layer of skin even if you don't die. What's more, our own Pangean monster has the characteristics of sand power, so we can find an opportunity to counterattack him. Circle Bear used both hands to chop fiercely at Pang Yangwei. A white shield quickly appeared from the giant rock monster and blocked the attack. But the violent noise continued to echo throughout the stadium. Fuck, these two Pokémon look pretty good. This young man seems to be quite good at fighting, I didn't realize it. There were whispers again from the stands. Pang Yangwei is indeed a veteran, and he took advantage of the moment to block the attack of Circle Bear. I quickly opened up a few positions and used Sandstorm. Sandstorm. Fuck, this big rock actually has weather-related skills. What a joke. As we all know, weather-related skills are very rare, such as praying for rain, sunny days, etc. It is a very rare skill learning machine, and it is in short supply. It's not available at all. No one expected that this big rock actually had this skill. Manager Han's face dropped. There were not many Pokémon with weather-related skills. Even if he won this battle, his reputation would be known. What a nasty little devil. Circle Bear, use Chop again, and hit it hard. Circle Bear endured the wind and sand. In the sandstorm, the sand scraped its body, making it feel very uncomfortable and a little injured. In the stands, everyone woke up from their surprise that Pang Yangwei had sandstorm skills. This sandstorm seems to be an indiscriminate attack. Fatty Chien had already put on goggles and was wrapped up like a mummy. The fat man stood up gracefully and shouted. Goggles, Goggles, do you want to see a wonderful show? Don't pay 998, don't pay 888, just pay 88 and you can get it. I'm sure you don't want to miss such a wonderful performance. The faces of the people around him darkened. Your price is too expensive, how about 40? Make a deal. The faces of the people around him darkened again. Even though the sandstorm affected Circle Bear's vision. But the giant rock monster is still too big and is still quite visible in the sandstorm. Almost any fool can find it, because it is really obvious. The strong sandstorm made Circle Bear even more irritable. Then he rushed forward and chopped with all his might, but this time, Pang Yangwei failed to block and was hit. His body was violently split in half, and there were some cracks on his chest. Use the sharp stone attack now. Due to the existence of the power of sand, the damage of all Pangean monsters' skills is directly increased by 30%, which is very considerable. There is no need to defend, just block the skills of the Circle Bear in order to be able to hit it with the best chance. You know, Pang Yangwei's speed is really too slow. Don't wait for the next skill to be released and then fail to hit anything, that would be even more embarrassing. Circle Bear, get out of the way. Manager Han shouted anxiously. Huge spikes rushed out from the ground, although the giant rock monster released its skills very slowly. But his skills were not slow, and he could see that the Circle Bear was in danger. In the sandstorm, people on the stage couldn't see clearly. Was it a one-hit kill? A huge roar was heard. Circle Bear rushed out from the sandstorm. 100,000 horsepower. Circle Bear rushed out from the sandstorm. Unleashed a skill with 100,000 horsepower. The crowd in the stands roared. No way, why does this close-range sharp stone attack feel like nothing? No, look at its hands. Circle Bear raised his hands, one of which was already covered in blood. Obviously impacted. Speedy. Dongfang Yan thought to himself. The severe pain made Circle Bear a little lose his mind. Hold on. Dongfang Yan gave the command calmly. Circle Bear smashed it with all his might. Boom. The strong vibrations from the ground-based skills made the entire stadium seem to be shaking. But the white light shield is still trustworthy. Circle Bear uses tongue licking. Manager Han immediately took orders. This defense was really disgusting. We have to find a way to prevent it from being used. Circle Bear suddenly became excited, wagged his tongue, and rushed towards Pang Yan monster. Pang Yangwei suddenly felt a chill. He had never seen such a scene before. Dongfang Yan couldn't help but recall the introduction of Circle Bear in the Eye of True Vision. Use Mud Throw. This skill not only deals damage, but can also reduce the opponent's hit rate. Of course, the main purpose is to reduce the opponent's hit rate. As expected, the Mud Throw directly hit the opposite Circle Bear. But this did not stop Circle Bear. Pang Yangwei was so frightened that he retreated again and again. Suddenly, the running bear pounced to the ground. The sharp rocks blown up by the wind and sand were hitting the rocks and rolling around on the playing field. This is not the case. It directly confused Circle Bear. If you're not careful, you'll bite its tongue and it'll grimace in pain. Pang Yangwei on the side breathed a sigh of relief. If he were to take a hit, he would have to start over. Is this the dodge in the game? Dongfang Yan thought to himself. This chance is within your reach. To be honest, it doesn't feel like playing the game yourself. Today's Pokémon duels are just like in the Pokémon anime and are affected by terrain factors. And the skills are not the kind that you use one at a time and I use the next. The reason these two guys release their skills so slowly is that it looks like a game. However, I really didn't expect that Circle Bear would fall down. What does it mean to take advantage of someone's misfortune? It means to make reasonable use of the advantages created by your opponent and then reasonably achieve victory. Quick, Pang Yangwei uses sharp stones to attack again. The effect of the sandstorm is getting weaker and weaker. We must end this battle quickly. If you are hit by a fighting skill again, your life may be in danger. Pang Yangwei was not idle either. It is now eager to end. Charge up. He raised his two front hands and hammered them hard on the ground. Boom. Spike-like rocks protrude from the ground one by one. The loud noise attracted the attention of Circle Bear. Faced with the sharp rocks, there was no way to dodge them, and the Circle Bear was pushed up hard, stirring up a large cloud of smoke. The skill is fast beyond 7 steps, and accurate and fast within 7 steps. The same principle applies to sharp stone attacks. Amidst the roar, the smoke gradually dissipated. Circle Bear fainted on the ground. Chapter 42. Victory. Moment. Awesome. Fuck, will this bear fight? This sobby thing, can you give orders? My money. My private savings, it's all gone. Fighting and hitting rocks, do you know how to play? The scene was noisy. What's more, I am amazed that at such a young age, he can already play Pokémon fighting. It's really good. I'll go to his store when I buy Pokémon next time. This was the thought of most people present. Of course, there are also some people who are thinking about how to explain themselves when they get home. Dongfang Yan breathed a sigh of relief and was a little excited. Manager Han had a gloomy face and silently took the teddy bear back. He left without saying a word. It also attracted some abuse from people, and those who understand will understand. Gradually the crowd dispersed. Dongfang Yan stayed in the waiting lounge. Fatty Qian was counting money, and Sister Wanwan had gone back to rest. One for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. Fatty Qian was dividing the money while mumbling something incoherently. If you're not fatty, why do you need this kind of thing? Dongfang Yan was really speechless. Was that luxury car outside just for decoration? Fatty Qian rolled his eyes and said speechlessly. No, brother, do you think it's easy for me to make money? Every month my parents give money to my sister first, and then my sister gives it to me. You don't know how much kickbacks my sister has taken from me. I don't have enough money from my own pocket. Fatty Qian complained while still counting the money quickly in his hand. So how much pocket money do you get per month? Dongfang Yan asked doubtfully. Not much, just over 100 million a month. The coolest dividing line. Ecological Park. The ecological park is larger than a football field. It is covered with dense jungle and some trees are very tall. Dongfang Yan, holding a flashlight, came to the small cave at the foot of the rocky mountain. The environment was dark and silent, and even with a flashlight, visibility was very low. The rocky mountain is relatively high, so the small cave is naturally deeper. Since there is a small lake in front of the cave is still relatively humid. Soon, Dongfang Yan tripped over something. What the hell? Dongfang Yan shone the light on it. A stone ball rolled over and over, but couldn't stand up. Dongfang Yan was really amused. If you ask what Dongfang Yan is here for, what can he do? The sand coin system issues daily tasks. Yesterday. System, the competition is over, I win, ahahaha, give me a reward. Ding dong, the task has been completed. The reward is 1500 reputation points. It has been recognized by some residents of Yangcheng. The total reputation value is 1635. The system responded quickly. Dongfang Yan was overwhelmed by the happiness of such a huge reputation. I made a small fortune directly. What were the conditions before that? It cost 50 reputation points to unlock a system mode, and the initial reputation value was only 100. Later, I had to piece together the reputation points here and there to get enough for 10 consecutive draws. An advanced skill disc costs 1 reputation points and an advanced item costs 5 reputation points. Of course, you can still buy regular skill discs, but it's not necessary. The main reason is that Dongfang Yuan still wants to accumulate reputation points and buy the recipe for making the Pokémon Cube. That thing also starts at 10,000, but it doesn't matter. You can accumulate reputation slowly, but you can't delay the lottery. Although I have the recipe for making water Pokémon blocks, I am not in a hurry. After all, I haven't learned the relevant work matters yet, and even if I have some formulas, it will be very uncomfortable if I mess them up. So don't worry, you can catch up on the relevant knowledge by yourself, and it won't be too late to come back and do it later. Besides, there aren't many water-type Pokémon right now. Well, there's only one water-type Pokémon, Slowpoke. I want more of a recipe for making rock-type or grass-type Pokémon blocks, or a regular type one will do. So, wait until you have learned the relevant methods of making Pokémon blocks, and then come back to do it properly. To make it, you need to buy equipment and raw materials. Suddenly I remembered that there are still some seeds that have not been planted, so I planted them on the large lawn in front of the ecological park. When the time comes, just reap the benefits. Ahahaha. In that case, reward yourself with a 10-pull streak. System, lottery. System, lottery. System. Open the system store and find the golden turntable. System, give me 10 consecutive draws. Dongfang Yan muttered to himself. Soon, the golden turntable in the system panel began to turn, and the pointer pointed to the colorful squares. Dongfang Yan watched the turntable gradually slow down. Then there were flashes of various lights. Ding dong! Thank you for your patronage. Super Invincible Cosmic Thunderbolt Speaker X1. 5 Grass Attribute Pokémon Cubes. Thank you for your patronage. Hakimi's Special Cat Teaser X1. Thank you for your patronage. 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 Dongfang Yan. Sure enough, cheap stuff doesn't mean good stuff. 100 reputation points for 5 consecutive draws, only Pokémon cubes are useful. You tell me what the rest is, what it is. Dongfang Yan looked at the cool and handsome trumpet in his hand. There is also a Hakimi cat teaser. Impressed. Looking at my reputation value, it is still 1535. The heart is broken and the teeth are gritted. System, another 10 consecutive draws. The big golden turntable started to turn again. Moment. Dongfang Yan sat on the ground helplessly. Looking at the remaining 1035 reputation points, what on earth did I draw? Forget about Hakimi's cat toy and the super invincible cosmic thunder horn. Can you tell me what this maid outfit means? Give me 4 more sets. There are quite a few Pokémon blocks released, including a little bit of each of the different series. But what is the difference between this and a participation award? Thank you very much for your patronage. There are also various small props for Pokémon, such as cat climbing frames that can help you climb higher, and bones that can't be broken by chewing. Impressed. I haven't tried single draw yet, let me give it a try. This is the last time, it's really the last time, Dongfang Yan comforted himself. System, ha! Dongfang Yan. One shot. The golden turntable inside the system panel began to rotate, and the pointer pointed to the colorful squares, spinning very fast. Gradually, the pointer slowed down, each time passing through the golden grid. Dongfang Yan's heart was pounding. The pointer slowly pointed to the white square, and it was given for free again. Dongfang Yan found out after several draws. The brighter the color, the better the reward, and a white box is almost equivalent to nothing. The transparent grid means thank you for your patronage. When Dongfang Yan was about to let the dog bark again, the pointer suddenly pointed to a purple square. Emits a dazzling purple light. This is a pitfall, Unchanging Stone X1. Fuck, that's awesome. Dongfang Yan howled. I've never seen the Stone of Immutability. What a prop. Taking it out from the system space, Dongfang Yan played with it in his hand. It's just an ordinary pebble. But Dongfang Yan knew that this thing was of great significance. First, it can prevent Pokémon from evolving after being worn. The second is that if you wear it while laying eggs, it can allow the next generation to inherit some of the wearer's abilities or appearance. It's really powerful. Of course, it is also sold in the system mall. Dongfang Yan looked it up and found that it costs 5 reputation points. I instantly felt like I had earned 100 million. System, oh, man. Chapter 43. Daily Tasks. Ding dong. Post daily tasks to help clean the Pokémon in the ecological park every day. Daily quest reward, 50 reputation points. Daily quest penalty, 60 reputation points. Publish daily tasks. Sell 5 eggs every day. Task reward, 50 reputation points. Task penalty, none. I hope the host will persevere and complete the task tomorrow. Dongfang Yan was speechless. I am so shocked. System, tell me, ask yourself, aren't you forcing me? If I clean the place, I will be rewarded with 50 reputation points. If I don't clean the place, damn it, I will be deducted 60 reputation points. After a day's mission, I still owe 10 reputation points if I haven't completed it yet. Is this your daily task? You just want to mess with me. System, didn't you say I was a jerk? What's the matter? Dongfang Yan. Inside the cave. Thinking of this, Dongfang Yan grabbed the stone ball and threw it into the frame behind him. How come your little stone ball is as heavy as a rock? Ishiwanzi. Is there a possibility? It is stone. Without saying much, Dongfang Yan walked inside while complaining, ignoring the two huge rock monsters beside him. I put the remaining 4 stone balls directly into the bag and took them out. On the grass, the 4 baby bears rolled, spun, and jumped everywhere with their eyes closed, showing no fear of being hit. There is also a Hakimi cat toy next to it, and the 4 baby bears are having a lot of fun playing with it. Slowpoke was sitting on a rock beside the lake, its wise eyes still as wise as ever. The lily root dolls were playing quietly on the grass by the lake, and 2 grass-type Pokémons were playing beside them, because grass-type Pokémons are generally very friendly. It is not very aggressive, but of course, the possibility of a grass-type Pokémon going berserk is not ruled out. Or during pregnancy or when taking care of a baby, grass-type Pokémon will become more likely to attack others. Of these 2 walking grasses, one was brought out from the Moonlight Forest, and the other was hatched. Next to it is a grass-type Pokémon block, of course it is produced by the system. Now that I'm rich, I don't care about ordinary things, and it's definitely not because I've won too many prizes in lotteries. I don't know where the mole has gone, but it doesn't matter. I can just shout at it with my super cool loudspeaker when the time comes. Otherwise, wouldn't the 10 consecutive draws be in vain? No one knew where the other 3 ladies in skirts had gone. Dongfang Yan walked out of the bushes and threw 5 stone balls on the grass. And the 4 baby bears pounced on them again. One of them was clinging to Dongfang Yan's legs, and the other one was trying hard to climb up, leaving Dongfang Yan speechless. Whose naughty kid is this? What a bear! There was no choice but to take out a normal Pokémon cube from my pocket. Throw it hard into the distance and the baby bears will scatter immediately. Dongfang Yan picked up the bucket and walked to the lily root dolls. The little lily root dolls were still a little scared. They are totally not on the same level as those bear cubs. Dongfang Yan was also drunk. Why did he act so impolitely at the beginning? He brought back these 4 house-destroying things. This is exactly the visual experience of a daughter and a silly son. Don't be afraid, can you help me? Dongfang Yan handed over the bucket. Signal them to get some water for themselves. Wow! After staying in the ecological park for a few days, several lily root dolls have adapted to life here. There are no dangers like those in the Moonlight Forest, and they know that it is the man in front of them who gives them this kind of life. So they are also happy to help Dongfang Yan. Eye of True Seeing. Pokémon, Lily Root Doll, Level 3. Potential, C. Gender, Female. Property, Grass. Status, Healthy. Features, Chlorophyll, Speed increases when the weather is clear. Genetic skills, Absorb, Grow. Basic skills, Helping. Skill CD, None. Props to carry, None. Note, this is a root Pokémon. The leaves on its head taste very bitter, but they have the effect of relieving physical fatigue and restoring the spirit. Okay, I'm lucky enough to find a lily root doll with relatively high potential. From now on, you will be called Little C. You are the boss among these lesbian dolls. Dongfang Yan touched the lily root doll's head and said with a smile. Baby. Apparently, it understood it, too. The rest of the lily root dolls are still a little shy. But it doesn't matter, there will be other trainers who will come to claim it when the time comes. Of course, money still needs to be paid, but it mainly depends on the willingness of both parties. Even if the Pokémon doesn't want to, it's not like I can't afford to support it. Anyway, the ecological park didn't cost much money, he just pocketed the money and made 100 million with tears. That's right, no one has as much pocket money as a fat person in a month. Really convinced? Baby. Little C took the bucket and instantly used a skill, and his body slowly grew bigger. It's skill growth. Dongfang Yan smiled with satisfaction, and then the other lily root dolls also ran to fetch water. Dongfang Yan turned around. There are still 3 stone balls that have not turned over. Dongfang Yan. Looking at the stone balls that are lying all over the place. We can only help the stone balls up. After a while, they started fighting again. I really have a headache. Really naughty. It would be nice if there was a Pokémon that could help me take care of my children. Hey, why didn't I think of that? Dongfang Yan clapped his hands. There are Pokémons who like to take care of Pokémon, including the bearcat, the nanny bug, the butler, etc. There is also a series of Pokémon that can heal, such as Happy Egg, Almost Doll, etc. These Pokémon will take care of other Pokémon. After all, It would be very tiring to take care of so many Pokémon by yourself. But as for wearing a bear, I can only say that those who understand will understand, it depends on the conditions. The nanny bug is okay, it's just the final evolution. I'll go look for it some other day. Those who love to be housekeepers are quite rare. Housekeepers can be divided into male and female. Female ones prefer to take care of children, while male ones usually have the potential to be housekeepers. Usually, they are cultivated only by wealthy families. As for those Pokémon that can heal, they are still very rare. It all depends on the situation. At this time, Little C came over staggeringly, carrying a bucket. Yeah, okay, really good. Little C was shaking his head happily. Dongfang Yan casually took out a few Pokémon cubes from his bag and gave them to the other Lilyroot dolls. Of course, Little C got the most. Dongfang Yan picked up the stone ball and threw it into the bucket. Ishigaki stared with its 2 feet gurgling. As a rock-type Pokémon, it is normal to be afraid of water. So after the stone ball was thrown in, he was caught out again. Just pick up the brush and keep brushing. How can Pokémon survive without a bath? Let you feel your father's love directly. After some crazy poking and showing off, the rest of the stone balls were washed. When the first stone ball was washed, the others had already started to run away. Of course running was useless, they were all caught. Chapter 44. A Lion's Egg Collection Point. For grass-type Pokémon, just give them some food and they will clean themselves. Some grass-type Pokémon can even survive solely on photosynthesis, but this is generally not recommended. Only a Pokémon in the wild that goes hungry for 9 meals in 3 days would do this. Therefore, grass-type Pokémon are generally civilian Pokémon. Because it is easy to raise and train, it will not be too bad in all aspects, whether it is fighting or companionship. And baby bears are even harder to catch. Aren't they just cats? I can only use super invincible props. That is. Hakimi Cat Teaser. You know what, it really does feel useful. Dongfang Yan picked up the prop, and a few feathers were hanging alone at the front. The baby bears seemed to have discovered a new world. They kept jumping up and down and rushing around. Dongfang Yan was really exhausted. Where's the Nidal? Several Pokémon shook their heads. Today's mission is almost complete. Nidal doesn't need his own help to take care of things, but there is a cuckoo next to him, the very talented cuckoo. Of course, the 2 captured Popos also follow Nidal. As soon as this cuckoo was brought back to the ecological park, it kept sticking to the Nidal. I guess he recognizes Night Owl as his big brother. I'm getting ready to go out to purchase some supplies, and I'd like to ask Night Owl about some things. Generally speaking, it is the source of Pokémon eggs in the breeding house. All of them are designated locations by the Alliance. You need to bring relevant certificates to the breeding house, pay a certain amount of money, and then go in to select the Pokémon eggs. The number of Pokémon eggs at home may not be enough, but Dongfang Yan wants to pick up some bargains. There is no time to wait any longer, so I can only take out the props. That's right, it's the super invincible Cosmic Thunder Horn. Night Owl. Young man, what's wrong with your face? The driver asked as they drove down the road. Dongfang Yan covered half of his face, with obvious scratches. Nothing, just fell down. Okay. The driver had nothing to say. Arrive. Dongfang Yan got out of the car and looked at the building in front of him. The Alliance Pokémon Egg Storage Point. Where is this guy from? The security guard came over with a kettle. Dongfang Yan obediently sent over his relevant certificates. Dongfang Yan is well aware of how awesome the security guard is. You see, it is written in novels that the uncles in novels are usually hidden NPCs. Hey, young man, you haven't figured it out yet. You are the breeder of the Yunai breeding house, right? The old man took a sip of tea and said with a smile. Uncle, how do you know me? Dongfang Yan asked doubtfully. The old man casually took out the Pokémon encyclopedia and clicked on a video. Look at this title. It said, the boss of Yunai breeding house beat up the shrimp-headed man. I can only say that the online world is awesome. Young man, work hard. I have confidence in you. The old man patted Dongfang Yan's shoulder happily. Hello, I'm here to claim the Pokémon egg. Arriving at the front desk, Dongfang Yan asked the receptionist. After all, it's my first time, so I still don't quite understand it. You are the boss of Yun AI breeding house, right? Please follow me to the warehouse. What kind of Pokémon do you need? The receptionist asked as she led the way. Do you have a butler here? Dongfang Yan asked immediately. The receptionist smiled awkwardly. No, this kind of Pokémon is rare, right? Then let me just go in and take a look. There is no choice but to go in and take a look myself. Of course, go ahead. When you're done, we can come out together to pay the bill. Come to the warehouse and push open the door. A wide variety of Pokémon eggs. However, most of the varieties are relatively simple. There are similar categories, such as arm wrestling eggs, there are a lot of them, and they are also divided into qualifications, the highest is no more than C, and most are D or E qualifications. There is also a Vulpix egg, which also has many categories. I really want it, but check your budget. Well, forget it, of course you can buy one or two to take home. If you sell them directly as Pokémon eggs and cultivate them into a group, one or two will not be enough. It's better to catch them in the wild. It's so comfortable to catch a whole nest at a time. After taking a rough look at some of them, I decided which Pokémon eggs I needed. I turned around and went to another warehouse, which usually contained some abandoned Pokémon eggs. For example, some broken Pokémon eggs, or those that are deformed, or have strange patterns that are unrecognizable are all placed here. These eggs are a gamble of luck. If they are not handled properly, they can only be discarded or sold to egg gamblers. The alliance also needs money. Eye of true seeing. Dongfang Yan's eyes glowed slightly. Started looking at the eggs. Pokémon, Kentaro, level 0. Potential, D. Gender, male. Attributes, general. Status, weak. Features, intimidation, intimidates the opponent when it appears, making it retreat and reducing the opponent's attack. Inherited skills, bumping, wagging tail. Basic skills, none. Skill CD, none. Props to carry, none. Notes, energetic and fiery, once it starts running, it won't stop unless it bumps into something. This egg is quite weak, mainly because the eggshell is a bit broken, but its quality is still good. It's a bit difficult, let's move on to the next one. Pokémon, Tantan Rat, level 0. Potential, F. Gender, female. Attributes, general. Status, healthy. Ability, escape, can definitely escape from wild Pokémon. Genetic skill, impact. Basic skills, none. Skill CD, none. Props to carry, none. Note, this Pokémon is a sentinel. It will hide food in its breadcrumbs and keep watch for a few days, using its tail to signal its companions. This one is just average, the qualifications are too poor and there is no need for much training. No wonder they were discarded eggs. After searching for a long time, there weren't many good ones. Some of the eggs were so weak that they were terribly weak. But Dongfang Yan still did not give up. Never miss the opportunity to pick up a bargain. After searching for a long time, I finally found a really cool one. The three great families. Pokémon, Knocking Monkey, level 0. Potential, C. Gender, male. Property, grass. Status, healthy. Ability, lush, when HP decreases, the power of grass attribute moves will increase. Inherited skills, scratching, calling. Basic skills, none. Skill CD, none. Props to carry, none. Note, this little monkey Pokémon, when he strikes with a special wooden stick, the power that can give vitality to flowers and plants will turn into sound and spread out. This is the only one that can be used, the newly released Big 3. This note is fine, I can take it back and plant flowers and grass for myself, grass-type Pokémon are so nice. Why wasn't it discovered this time? Mainly because its pattern was too strange. It's different from a normal knocking monkey egg, no wonder it was thrown aside. This is really, really cool. Chapter 45. Pokémon Egg. Dongfang Yan wrote down its number. I have to scan it again, there are still many Pokémon eggs that I haven't seen yet. This time I really discovered a lot. These are must-haves to take away. And this, you must bring it with you. Pokémon, Ugly Fish, level 0. Potential, C. Gender, female. Attribute, water. Status, Healthy. Features: swimming freely, speed will increase when it rains. Genetic skill: leap. Basic skills: none. Skill CD: none. Props to carry: none. Note: fish Pokémon are Pokémon that no one cares about because their scales are naturally ragged and ugly. They can live in both oceans and rivers. This is simply the ugly duckling in Pokémon. It can evolve into Moross through link exchange evolution through mysterious scales. Melodic is a very good-looking Pokémon among all Pokémon, and is popular among men, women, young, and old. To be honest, the clownfish is still very rare. Even rarer than being a housekeeper. It's because they think they are ugly. Well, they are not that good-looking indeed. That's why they are even harder to catch. They usually hide and don't show up, so they are extremely rare. I didn't expect to meet him here. I can only say that I am so lucky. Moreover, Mean Xiao is divided into male and female, but they are both equally beautiful and good-looking. You can also distinguish them by details, such as the drooping part of the female's eyebrows is longer, which makes it look better. Identifying the gender of Pokémon is also the job of the breeder. I'm just proud of myself. I'm just awesome. The warehouse is quite large, and some Pokémon eggs can be stored for 2 to 3 years. There was still plenty of time, so Dongfang Yan looked at all the eggs here. There is only one such creature among the 3 great creatures, namely, Knocking Monkey. Rare Pokémon, and all of them are C quality, including Clownfish, Ponytail, Flowerbeard, and Rock Dog. The more general ones but of good quality are D-level qualifications, Electric Flying Squirrels, and Mosquito Coil Tadpoles. But there are only a few of them, and we have to say that the Alliance's testing level is still quite high. The rest of the Pokémon eggs were too badly damaged and in very low health. Even with the system, it would be difficult to save them. But what made him happiest was that there was actually a similar doll in it. Can you believe it? It's almost there, doll. I was still talking about it before I came here, but who knew I actually found it? This is even more timely than the 3 major families. I can only say that it is well deserved. Thanks to this system. But that's all we have. Don't say you're lucky. If you try to look at all the eggs in the warehouse, you'll be dizzy. It's a warehouse as big as 2 basketball courts. There are so many Pokémon eggs, layer upon layer, it's really not a sight for human beings to look at. Forget it, let's go for a walk in the moonlight forest some other day. Take these eggs back first. Are you sure you want these eggs? The front desk lady asked doubtfully. Because she really didn't understand why she should buy these eggs with unidentified and questionable qualifications. Of course, Dongfang Yan also selected a lot of eggs and sold them as Pokémon eggs in the breeding house. The qualifications are between D and E, with a small number of C qualifications. It's not that I don't want it, but it's mainly about cultivating Pokémons, so I have to make a choice. For example, the current breeding house is also an ecological park. The Pokémons living in the ecological park mainly include grass type, flying type, rock type, normal type, ground type, and fairy type. Excluding our own Slowpoke, these Pokémon are the main direction of cultivation in the ecological park. In addition to the ones picked out above, there are also electric and water types. Almost Doll is a normal type, Huabai is a fairy type, and Rock Dog is a rock type. In the ecological park, there are grass type, rock type, flying type, normal type, and fairy type. These are the current mainstream, and the rest are dispensable. They are mainly used for breeding and for selection by the trainers they like. Moreover, the reproduction between Pokémons is also outrageous. How should I put it? It's just too free. They do not breed within the same line or within the same species. They breed in groups, for example. Pikachu is a land group, and so is Roaring Whale. So these two can reproduce as long as they are of different genders. Isn't that outrageous? There are more than 10 types of Pokémon's egg groups. Humanoid, monster type, mineral type, dragon type, insect type, flying type, land type, fairy type, plant type, gender unknown, unknown, water type, invertebrate in water, vertebrate in water, amphibious, indefinite. These are their groups, a group of the same type, and no matter what they look like, they can all have babies. The most special ones among them are 3. One is the amorphous Pokémon, which only has Ditto. This Pokémon can breed with any Pokémon. However, the Pokémon that is bred will not be Ditto, but only another Pokémon. There is another one whose gender is unknown, and it can only breed with Ditto. There is another one that is not clear yet, such as dream, which is almost impossible to reproduce. Therefore, only the right group of eggs can produce more babies. But the ones I choose are still similar. For example, the grass-type Pokémon at home include Lilyroot, Walker, Knocker, and Miss Skirt. These Pokémon can reproduce independently. Whether the bred Pokémon is the starter 3 or ordinary Pokémon depends entirely on luck. For example, Baby Bear and Rock Dog are terrestrial types, Almost Doll is a fairy type, and Night Owl, Cuckoo, and Bobo are flying types. Those that look like bats are also flying, such as the crossbat, Zubat, etc. The ugly fish, the mosquito coil tadpole is a fish with a spine in the water. The ugly fish, it is still considered a group of dragons. There are too many categories, but most of them are terrestrial groups. I thought for too long and the receptionist became impatient. Are you listening? Are you packing everything up and taking it away? Oh, help me transport it back. Dongfang Yan finally responded, are there any discounts on these eggs? Dongfang Yan continued to ask. Of course, these clearly marked eggs are 10 cheaper than the market price. These Pokémon eggs found in the warehouse are very cheap. I'll give you 1,000 yuan each. The receptionist took out a calculator and did the math. Hello, your total consumption is 659 million yuan. Excuse me, scan the code or pay by card. Hiss. It's a little expensive. Cash? Give me 659 million in cash. Dongfang Yan thought to himself. Of course, scan the code and swipe the card. The main thing is to select a few more C-quality eggs. We must promote the reputation of Yun AI breeding house. There is no other way, just consider it as an initial investment. I paid the money and gave the address, and it will be delivered when the time comes. Since we are here now, why not just take a stroll around? So we bought some local specialties, tree juice, salads made from various tree fruits, and a delicious tail, definitely not from Slowpoke, and we enjoyed the food very much. I also bought some tree fruit seeds and planned to take them back to the ecological park to plant. With the genes of a flower grower here, I have no choice but to grow something. There happened to be a Diglett at home, which came in handy to help loosen the soil, and there was also a grass-type Pokémon to help take care of it. Now I just have to wait for the almost babies to hatch. If I nurture them a little more, my work will be easier. In order to catch fish, you still have to work hard. Chapter 46, Evil Fox Pokémon Zoroark. After buying some more things, I finally returned to the breeding house. Sitting at the front desk, I wiped the Pokémon eggs and cleaned some dust off the counter. It will take at least another week for the breeding house to open, and it will only sell Pokémon eggs. It will take more than a week to sell the young Pokémons, after all, they have not been properly nurtured and educated. Moreover, some of the Pokémons will not be sold in large quantities, after all, they need to be kept as seeds for the breeding house. Suddenly the phone rang. Dongfang Yan turned around and ran to answer the phone. It was his grandma calling. Grandma, why are you calling? What's wrong? Can't I find you if nothing happens? Dongfang Yan smiled awkwardly. No. There is frozen Mau Mau butter in your refrigerator. You can take it out and eat it with bread, or heat it up and drink it with milk. Grandma Lan came over and gave instructions. It's getting cold, remember to wear more clothes and sleep well at night. Remember to take care of the Pokémon in the ecological park and don't just bring them back and leave them alone. When you have time, learn more about breeders. Remember. I remember it, I will definitely remember it. Dongfang Yan naively opened the refrigerator and took out the Mau Mau cream. A strong milky aroma hit his nose. This is completely different from the milk I drank in my previous life. It's nutritious. Okay, I won't say any more to you. I have something else to do and will have to stay for another month or two. That's all. Instantly, the phone was hung up. Dongfang Yan, ahoy! Who in the family understands? Hey, luckily I can cook. Put 2 slices of bread in the toaster and set the timer. Use a spoon to scoop out some of the Mau Mau cream and melt it slightly. Not too cold to eat. Ding dong. What the hell system? Dongfang Yan was shocked. System. Okay. It's toaster time. Take out the toast and spread the butter on it. Even though we've already eaten out, it wouldn't be too much to have a few more snacks. Dongfang Yan picked up the bread and was about to put it into his mouth. Boom boom boom. There was another knock on the door. The wind chimes on the tree rang crisply again. The tree in the breeding house was actually not very big. It can be hugged with both arms, and its branches are relatively strong. It is a small flying Pokémon that can stay on trees. Not bad, not bad. I'll bring the flying Pokémon in the ecological park out to use as mascots next time. Dongfang Yan opened the door. But there was no one outside the door. That's weird, who's outside? Dongfang Yan asked doubtfully. It was pitch black outside. It made me a little scared. Come out, Slowpoke. Dongfang Yan decisively took out the Pokeball and released Slowpoke. Isn't it a ghost-type Pokémon? It's really a bit scary. Just as he finished speaking, a rustling sound suddenly came from behind him. Shit, sneak attack. Slowpoke uses yawn on the one behind. Slowpoke turned around and yawned suddenly. Dongfang Yan closed the door immediately. Look back. The little boy appeared again. In his mouth, he held the bread that Dongfang Yan had made himself. He grinned and said nothing. Why is it you again? You stole my food last time too. Whose child are you? Dongfang Yan asked doubtfully, taking out the illustrated guide and preparing to find the Alliance police. The little boy stopped pretending and suddenly lunged forward, trying to rush out the door. But Dongfang Yan had welded the door shut, and he thought he had encountered a ghost Pokémon. Even though it's a ghost Pokémon, it's useless even if the door is welded shut. Welding always makes me feel more comfortable. Dongfang Yan reacted very quickly and started pulling. After all, there was a tree in the middle of the breeding house, so he did the Qin King's circling the pillar move. If I get scratched by a little brat, I will be so embarrassed. If I beat the kid up, I will feel like I am bullying the weak. Something seems wrong, I seem to have yawned at this kid. Nothing will happen, right? Slowpoke stayed where it was, staring blankly at the two people spinning around. Dongfang Yan felt a wave of regret. If I had known earlier, I would have brought the night owl out of the ecological park. Now you have to go through the back door and open a password door to enter the ecological park. Hey kid, where are you from? There's no point chasing me. If I didn't want to beat you up, I'd give you a 5-hit lightning whip. Dongfang Yan kept talking. The little brat suddenly staggered, tilted his head, and fell asleep on the ground. Oh my god, is that true? You can even blackmail me for this. There is no big word in the Eastern language. I can only go forward and observe what's going on. Slow Pokemon also came forward to watch. The little boy's appearance gradually changed. What is this? Dongfang Yan was a little confused. This seemed to be? Take out the Pokemon Encyclopedia. Click. Zorua, the evil fox Pokemon. System. Sorry, I forgot I was hanging up. The Eye of True Seeing. Pokemon, Zoro, Level 9. Potential, C. Gender, Male. Attribute, Evil. Status, Healthy. Features, Illusion, disguise as a Pokemon in the same team to confuse the opponent. Inherited skills, Scratching, Staring, Fake Crying. Basic skills, Unreasonable Trouble, Claws. Skill CD, None. Props to carry, None. Note, a vicious fox Pokemon that transforms into the opponent's appearance to scare the opponent. It often transforms into a silent child. This is indeed true. Pokemon. Awesome, such a rare Pokemon. It can't be true, right? I'm so lucky, this is Zoro. Among Pokemon, some Pokemon like Zoroark are even rarer than legendary Pokemon. Because they are inherently cunning, their final form, Zoroark. They are also masters in the world of illusion, and the entire tribe has the ability to transform. And the population is so sparse that it is said to be almost impossible to see. Even if you encounter it, it is in a transformed state and can turn into Pokemon that can be found everywhere, such as Rattata, Pidgeot, Slowpoke, and even humans. What just happened is a very obvious example. However, generally speaking, the Zoroark tribe will hardly disperse. Then why is this one still a young Pokemon? How would it appear here? You know, Yangcheng is a deserted place. There are no particularly rare Pokemon. There are really no particularly rare Pokemon. There are no starter Pokemon, and there are almost no Dragon-type Pokemon. Although there are Steel-type, Rock-type, and Ground-type Pokemon, these huge monsters are very common. Radon and even Ishiganko are all younger brothers in front of Zoroark. Of course, apart from the divine beasts, even the quasi-gods cannot compare to its rarity. Some common mythical beasts are more common than it. I really found a treasure this time. How could I let it trick me into leaving it here? You still have to learn more about the Pokémon you like. Take it to the ecological park first. When it wakes up, it won't run around in the store. Look at this house, it's so dirty and messy. Fortunately, the Pokémon eggs were not destroyed. But I have to clean up again. Dongfang Yan picked up Soraya, opened the password door, and went to the ecological park. The night owl was still on the platform, with two cats, Bobo and Gugu, helping to comb its feathers. With its super eyesight, Night Owl observed the small thing in Dongfang Yan's hand. He spread his wings and flew straight over. Chapter 47. Fighting. The Night Owl flew down from the rocky hill. He tilted his head and stared at Dongfang Yan. Seems to be asking. Oh, another child was stolen. Dongfang Yan ignored the inquiry in its eyes. I found a good spot and put Zoro on the ground. A few baby bears gathered around again. Don't you bears sleep at night? Dongfang Yan was speechless. The baby bears were also fearless. Dongfang Yan didn't tolerate it either. He grabbed him and spanked him a few times. Without waiting for the baby bear to bark, he threw it aside. Beat up all the baby bears. Dongfang Yan didn't know what to do either. Let's just wait for it to wake up. No good, just leave it here. What if I run into the small cave and get accidentally injured by the Pangean monster? And then change the form. How to recognize it? So let's just wait. As the saying goes, the validity period of a yawn is 2 rounds, right? Why isn't this guy awake yet? Ugh. Didn't have to wait long. Dongfang Yan had already dozed off. Several Pokémon surrounded him, the cubs were lying steadily on his body, and several grass-type Pokémon were also surrounding him. Slowpoke was sleeping on its belly, all of them were in a daze. And Zoroark suddenly moved, which woke Dongfang Yan up. Dongfang Yan shuddered with fright, and the rest of the Pokémon woke up as well. Zoroya opened his eyes and was immediately startled. Surrounded by a large group of Pokémon and a human. Don't give yourself anything to eat. Are you awake? Dongfang Yan asked in a soft voice. Soraya didn't give any face at all. Jump up and paw. What? There was a scratch on Dongfang Yan's face. But some baby bears were angry. Damn it! This is my long-term meal ticket. Put your hands on your hips and move forward. I must beat up Zoroark. And Zoro was not afraid, he just bared his teeth. Dongfang Yan rubbed his face. It was bleeding and it still hurt a little. I forgot to prepare the relevant medicine at home. I really overlooked this point. Baby. A few lily-rooted dolls also gathered around and raised their heads to look at Dongfang Yan. It's okay, no problem. Dongfang Yan smiled and touched their heads. Pull apart the confrontation between Baby Bear and Zoroark. Okay, it didn't mean to do that. He touched the baby bear's head, took out a few Pokémon cubes, and gave them generously as rewards. Are you hungry? Dongfang Yan squatted on the ground. He looked down at Zoroark. A tuft of red hair, grey-black roots, and another tuft of black fluff on the neck. Red polka-dot eyebrows and 2 blue eyes stared at Dongfang Yan fiercely. The 2 front paws are pointed forward, giving the appearance of lunging forward. This is threatening. But it doesn't matter, wild Pokémon are still so rare. It's okay to be patient. Without wasting any time, he took out the evil Pokémon block from the system space. The evil-type Pokémon's favorite smell emanates from the Pokémon cube, slowly arousing Soraya's appetite. He was clearly grinning, but the saliva at the corners of his mouth was unconsciously exposed. Dongfang Yan also laughed out of anger. The stalemate lasted for half a minute. He was drooling like a river. Okay, eat. Dongfang Yan went straight to the point, grabbed Zoroark, pried open its mouth, and stuffed the evil Pokémon cube in. Zoroark half-heartedly swallowed the Pokémon cube in a daze. Dongfang Yan looked at its silly look, picked it up by the neck and prepared to take it away. How dare they leave it here? It just had a conflict with the baby bears. The baby bears are not going to do it again and are determined to have a fight. Several hundred Roots dolls were covering their mouths nearby, excitement revealed on their little faces. Walking Grass was also watching there. A night owl also flew down to join in the fun. Followed by 2 bobos and a gugu. The gophers that were not seen during the day also came out. The slowpoke was still lying on its back, still sleeping, unmoved by the thunder. Okay, let's leave the conflicts between Pokemon to handle. You two just want to have a fight. The bear boss in the east is looking at it, and Zoroark in his hand. Seeing that both sides nodded, let's fight. Okay, everyone, get on the rock mountain. A platform on the rocky mountain, surrounded by a group of Pokemon. The platform on the rock mountain is quite large. It's a perfect place to play Pokemon battles. I haven't noticed the attributes of this baby bear yet. I've seen Zoroark's and stopped looking at it. Pokemon, baby bear, level 8. Potential, D. Gender, male. Attributes, general. Status, healthy. Features, pickup, sometimes you can pick up items used by your opponent, and you may also pick up items when exploring the wild. Inherited skills, grasping, round pupils. Basic skills, scratching. Skill CD, none. Props to carry, none. Note, for the bear Pokemon, once it finds honey, the crescent pattern will glow and it will keep licking its palms of sweet honey. The baby bear's qualifications are still a bit low, but this feature is really good. When the time comes, take him outside for a walk and see if you can pick up some props to play with. Then both sides get ready, the game begins. Dongfang Yan directly acted as the referee. 2 Pokemon stood on either side. The Pokemon around shouted Navi one after another. The 2 Pokemon confronted each other after hearing the game start. The baby bear took the lead and pounced forward. Eyes begin to flicker. The round pupil starts to activate. This skill is launched first and reduces the opponent's attack. It means it can acquire more skills. Sure enough, the baby bear's paws emitted a faint light. And Zoroark sharpened his claws on the spot. Sharpening your claws can increase your attack. I still want to increase my attack power a little bit, or offset it with the baby bear's skills. The baby bear rushed in front of Zoroark, raised his arms, and grabbed him with all his strength. It's a skill catch. Zoro tried to dodge, but had a few of his hairs scratched off. Then he used his skills to make trouble unreasonably. Once a skill is used by someone, it cannot be used again for 2 consecutive rounds. That is disabled. Hence the name making trouble without reason. It's really unreasonable. Zoroark reached forward and grabbed. Skills were also used. This time the baby bear didn't dodge. Got a claw. The skin was torn and some blood came out. Under the claw effect, even if it is a normal skill grab, damage has also been increased. And baby bear is not far behind. Immediately use the random grab. The baby bear immediately started grabbing at Zoroark. Both hands lit up. Swing left, swing right. And Zoroark could only dodge passively. Even so, still got caught a few times. After the baby bear scratched 5 times, it stopped. Continue to use round pupils. Reduce its attack power and lower it. Soraya was not far behind. Used the skill stare. Reduced its defense. Rounding off means nothing has changed. Then both sides used the grab. Both Pokemon were caught together. Both Pokemon were wounded in about the same level. Baby bear focuses on physical attack, while Zoroark focuses on special attack. But in the early stage, Zoroark didn't have any magic attacks. In other words, in the battle between the 2 sides, Zoroark was behind. In terms of HP, the baby bear also has the advantage. If the levels and speeds are similar, Zoroark will be the one to fall in the end. The 2 Pokemon started fighting again, with the baby bear scratching them. Zoroark still fell down. The eldest baby bear was jumping around happily. Dongfang Yan also smiled. Chapter 48. Wound Medicine. Dongfang Yan brought the 2 Pokemon out of the ecological park. There's no other way. He was injured in the battle, so I'd better bring him out for a checkup. After Pang Yangwei finished that game in the gym, he was immediately taken to the Pokemon hospital for examination. But poor Soraya fainted again just after waking up. It's really embarrassing, but this Zoroark still needs more training. This guy has not unleashed his fighting potential at all. But it was already very late, so it was not a good idea to go directly to the pet hospital. But it doesn't matter, we have cheats. Dongfang Yan picked up the 2 Pokemon. Don't tell me, it's quite heavy. Facial recognition identified the ecological park. You don't have to worry about others stealing your Pokémon. First of all, the materials used in the ecological park are really strong enough that ordinary thieves can't get in at all. Secondly, there is a night owl in the ecological park that never sleeps and its level is quite high. Thirdly, unless it is the rockets, with their explosive means and determination to dig through the earth, no one would come to the ecological park. Go upstairs and take the 2 Pokémon back to their rooms. Slowpoke was released directly into the ecological park. When the 2 Pokémon were fighting just now, it fell asleep directly and was unmovable. Put the baby bear, Zoro, on the bed. Both Pokémon had scratches all over their bodies. The damage varies, some are deep and some are shallow. But it doesn't matter, in the Pokémon world. Pokémon have good recovery abilities. Otherwise, in the Pokémon world, there are duels, fights, and adventures every day. If the Pokémon's vitality is not strong enough, it will almost certainly die. Open the system store and find the medicine category. There are 3 types of wound medicine, good wound medicine, and severe wound medicine. The price is 20 reputation, 50 reputation, and 100 reputation. It's still a little expensive, but it doesn't matter, I have money. I just bought 2 bottles of medicine. I'll just leave it to fate whether I live or die. Just kidding, I bought 2 bottles of powerful medicine. 1 bottle is enough for 2 Pokémon. More is of no use. Keep a bottle for emergencies. Of course there are many medicines in the store. There are antidotes, thaws, full body agents, panaceas, etc., and the prices vary. But they are all useful. Whether it is actual combat or rest after combat. Because if a Pokémon is disturbed by an abnormal state, the effect will continue if it is not treated. For example, if you are in a paralyzed state, you should not use an antidote or go to the Pokémon hospital. Well, the paralysis effect is almost always there, and it still exists after the battle is over. The effect also exists at the beginning of the next battle. That's why it's so important to have these things. Of course, there are some particularly awesome items, such as Resurrection Grass, Vitality Blocks, and even Holy Ash. Can you believe it? I have all these things, but based on my current reputation value, I guess I'll be able to buy it in my next life, so instead of thinking about it I might as well go to the Ho-Oh's habitat and steal some back when I have the chance. So what if I'm a first level god? My eldest brother is Mewtwo. Give the Pokémon 2 bottles of medicine. The scars on his body gradually disappeared. I have to say, the Pokémon world is truly magical. But it doesn't matter, as long as the injury recovers. I have to go to the ecological park to open a medicinal field tomorrow. My grandma is an expert in this. In the backyard, there were vegetables, fruits, and melons grown by my grandma. However, it was demolished immediately after the ecological park was built. If grandma were here, she would have given it to him directly. It doesn't matter if he's not here, the flower grower's farming talent is maxed out. Plus, this is the Pokémon world, and some skills can make crops grow faster. Really awesome. For example, a grass field. It can make the grass in the field grow faster and more lush. It seems that my own Pokémon also only knows how to play on green grass fields. It seems to be the walking grass, either hatched from an egg or bought in the egg gambling market. One was caught in Uexia Forest, and there were 2 in the ecological park. But the level of that walking grass was too low, only level 2. I don't have any skills at all. It takes at least 10 levels to learn them. But now I have the Stone of Unchange. It is almost not a problem to inherit good skills or Pokémon. By this calculation, the ecological park may not be short of staff by then, and we will still have to hire people to help. I still don't want to consider the fat guy. I have to trouble others for everything. Who owns this store? However, the safety of the ecological park still needs to be considered. It is impossible to let a wolf into the house. So in terms of selecting people, it must be trustworthy. You have to have good character and some experience in taking care of Pokémon. Isn't this too difficult? Forget it, the boat will naturally go straight when it reaches the bridge. There is always a way. But the current plan is to sleep. The coolest dividing line. In the morning, the sun is shining brightly. Amid the chirping of birds and the fragrance of flowers, Dongfang Yan felt a little difficulty breathing. Fuck, I can't stand it anymore. Dongfang Yan suddenly sat up. Push things away from your face. The baby bear was drooling and sleeping with his mouth open. However, he woke up immediately when Dongfang Yan pushed him away. Dongfang Yan's speech was strange. He said he had difficulty breathing and felt like he was going to die. It turned out to be this guy, sleeping on someone's face. He really knows how to sleep. No, there is another one? Dongfang Yan immediately stood up and threw back the quilt. Boy, there's nothing. Where's Soraya? Dongfang Yan turned his head and looked at the baby bear and asked. The baby bear shook his head in a humane way. After all, it was Zoroark who fainted last night. The baby bear only went to sleep because he was sleepy. So where is Soraya? Did he go downstairs? There was no choice but to go downstairs and look for it. As soon as I went downstairs, I heard various noises coming from the refrigerator in the kitchen downstairs. Refrigerator. Dongfang Yan was startled himself. He quickly jumped downstairs, and sure enough, Zoroark opened his mouth and ate big mouthfuls of Mao Mao cream. His face was covered with food, and when he saw Dongfang Yan coming, he just glanced at him indifferently. Then continued to show off, focusing on ignoring. Baby bear stumbled down the stairs. Zoroya's nose twitched slightly, and he stopped eating frantically in an instant. He was grinning, wishing he could have another fight. The baby bear also smelled Zoroark's scent and became alert. Zoroark jumped from the refrigerator, landed on the ground, and instantly transformed into a houndoom. This was the first time Dongfang Yan saw the transformation of Soraya. I have to say, it's really awesome. His appearance changed immediately, and Dongfang Yan even touched him a few times. It feels normal, but it just looks different. As long as it's the look that Zoroark has seen before. It can all be transformed. This is the talent of their race. An unparalleled talent, and there are so many things that can be done with it. Fortunately, I am a good citizen, a very good citizen. Chapter 49. Transformation. The houndoom transformed by Zoroark was completely black, with two thick and long horns on his head. The majestic eyes bring with them a sense of oppression. The children were scared to tears. It seems that Zoroark has seen what houndoom looks like. Otherwise it wouldn't take its form. Baby bear just came down the stairs, ready to find Soraya for a good lecture. But Zoroark attacked first, transformed into houndoom, jumped forward, and growled. The baby bear was so frightened that he turned around and ran upstairs. How do you say this thing? Dongfang Yan, Alright, Zoroark, change back and don't scare the crap out of you. When the baby bear heard Dongfang Yan's voice, he lowered his head, but Zoroark was still in the form of houndoom. Dongfang Yan stroked his head helplessly. This thing was really stubborn. We must make up for yesterday's failure. No way. Dongfang Yan took out another plate of evil Pokémon cubes. The fragrant smell continues to emanate. The houndoom transformed by Zoroark was originally growling softly, but as he smelled the tempting scent, his eyes began to flicker. Sad tears unconsciously flowed from the corners of his mouth. Look at that horrible look on its face. Dongfang Yan was also convinced. Do you have to be so funny? I don't know what he is pretending to be. It's obvious that the bear eats a lot. There's nothing we can do, it's got to be the same as always. Dongfang Yan walked over and grabbed the head of houndoom transformed by Zoroark. Use your hands to pry open the mouth, pick up the plate full of evil Pokémon cubes and slam it. He poured the plate like pouring rice and tapped it against his mouth twice. Zoroark was bored and suddenly changed back to his original appearance from houndoom. Mouth full of Pokémon cubes. He kept chewing and biting it, and was reluctant to spit it out. What on earth is this guy doing outside? Judging from its appearance, it probably hasn't had a full meal. No way, you can transform and still not have enough to eat. Why not just turn into someone else's Pokémon and eat their food for free? When the baby bear saw Zoroark reveal his true form, he tapped his feet a little awkwardly. My goodness, I almost peed my pants. Both Pokémon felt awkward for some unknown reason. How can I put it? That feeling of social death. Dongfang Yan didn't care about them. They were just kids fighting each other, but they made up after a while. I was not idle either. I took out the Pokémon block for the baby bear and prepared other things. Today we are going to clear an area in the ecological park to be used as a fruit planting area. Take Grandma's tools and take out the seeds from the system, but they are random. Of course, when I went out, I also bought some tree fruit seeds and tree fruits for making water Pokémon blocks. These tree fruits were just right for practicing. Carry a shovel and put the seeds in a bag. Went directly to the ecological park. Following behind were two middle school boys. They turned their heads away from each other and ignored each other. They are really like elementary school students. Scan your face to enter the ecological park. Look up at the Rocky Mountain. Good boy, he didn't sleep at all. The night owl tilted its head and looked at Dongfang Yan. Dongfang Yan carried a shovel and walked around the ecological park. It's really big. Once Zoro and the baby bear entered the ecological park, they didn't know where to go. But it seems that Zoroark has not been captured with a pokeball yet. There's no rush. Finally, I saw a gopher digging a hole in a bush. Dongfang Yan walked over and knocked on the mole's smooth head. The mole turned around and looked at Dongfang Yan with a very strange look. It seems to be saying, "You guy, can't you see I'm busy?" Dongfang Yan silently took out a pack of Pokémon cubes. The mole accepted it silently and lowered his head shyly. These guys. After a long walk around the ecological park, finally found a place that is similar. Speaking of almost, there must be Pokémon such as the starter Pokémon and Smurfette brought back from the League's egg collecting point. It has been incubated at the entrance of the ecological park. I guess it will be out in 2 days. This doll is of utmost importance. It is so comfortable to have it help take care of the Pokémon. It is located close to the small lake and the edge of the ecological park. Dongfang Yan swung the hoe fiercely, wantonly swaying his sweat on this land. Okay, the rest is up to you. Dongfang Yan turned around and looked at the mole with a smile. The gopher was not hesitant either, and burrowed into the soil with a whoosh. Within the scope defined by the Eastern dialect, he drilled in and out. You know what, this thing seems to be really useful. Even if you work so hard here, you probably won't be able to dig much. This Pokémon just takes a turn here and the day's work is almost done. This is much more useful than any machine in my previous life. More capable than that cow. It still needs watering, and there is no rush to fertilize. After fertilizing, I will apply the base fertilizer later. Anyway, Grandma bought some fertilizer before. Let's use it first. It would be unreasonable for a young man from a flower-growing family not to grow some crops. Grab a few buckets and go look for the Pokémon again. There is strength in numbers. So, in the entire ecological park, except for Ishiwanko who walked on the grass without hands, all the Pokémon came to help. Of course, there was absolutely no coercion or inducement. Zoroark also turned into Houndoom, scaring some of the less courageous Pokémon in the ecological park. Of course, the price is to carry the bucket with your mouth and transport it honestly. Dongfang Yan took the fruit seeds and began to identify them. One is a random seed distributed by the system. One was bought outside. Plant them separately. See what the difference is. No difference is better. I really don't want to buy it with reputation points. I can just go out and buy it in bulk, that would be really great. Let the gophers turn over the ground. Dongfang Yan covered his nose, and applied fertilizer into the ground. Cover it with soil and give it a layer of water. Use the spot sowing method to plant the fruit trees. Speaking of the fruit on this tree, it does look different from previous fruits. Let's just talk about what this fruit is. It's colorful and very strange. Take this melon-scented fruit for example. It obviously looks like the cantaloupe in my previous life. But the yellow stripes turned green. The oval has become a circle. There is also this golden pillow fruit. Isn't this durian? What's amazing is that the color is actually green. Can you believe it? There is also this strawberry-like fruit. Guess what? It grows on trees, otherwise why is it called tree fruit? Pokémon, the fruit of the world. Either in a tree or in the bushes. Definitely not on the ground anyway. After sowing the seeds, all the Pokémon worked together to sprinkle water on them. After working on it for almost the entire morning, it was finally finished. And this location is relatively central. You won't see this piece of land as soon as you enter the ecological park. That would be too abrupt, so the next step is to give the Pokémon shifts. Who? Come water the plants when the time comes. Are you kidding? I will never come here, even if you kill me. It's impossible to work for the rest of my life, ah ha ha ha. Chapter 50. Making Water Spirit Cubes. When I returned to the breeding house, I took out the fruits I had bought earlier. The Pokémon Cube can do more than just increase the Pokémon's sense of fullness. More importantly, some well-made Pokémon cubes. It can increase the smoothness of Pokémon's fur. Increase the level of Pokémon's brilliance. Just like Pokémon, there is a profession in the world. He is the trainer of the grand contest. The Pokémon they raise themselves don't just eat that good Pokémon cube regularly. Some wealthy contest trainers, or Pokémon from wealthy families, will hire special breeders to equip their Pokémon with separate Pokémon cubes. That is to say, according to the taste of that Pokémon, you can configure the Pokémon blocks that it likes to eat the most. This thing is just like a supplement. Giving Pokémon body or hidden damage is of great help. It can be said that Pokémon Cube has entered people's lives. Of course, the secret recipe of the Pokémon Cube is shared by many large companies. Or it could be the hidden treasure of some private breeders. Like the sprite blocks given by the system. There are water type, evil type, and all kinds of types. This is just made based on a series of Pokémons with similar tastes. Of course, this is enough. You can also design and make a Pokémon block for each Pokémon. Of course, I don't have that ability now. Hey! After all, I've just gotten started. Looking at the instructions for making the blocks given by the system. There is no choice but to follow the recipe above. Look at the ingredients. 1000 flavor fruit x3, cucurbit fruit x3, sugar apple x3, fresh sugar apple x1, 50 ml, rolling bean x1, 250 grams ground into powder. A can of finished water spirit cubes. Dongfang Yan picked up the bag. I bought a dozen thousand spice fruits and a dozen cucurbits. You can have any one of the sugar apples or the carambola. I bought some custard apples and also some soursop, but only a little bit, so I ate them as fruit. This will make about 4 or 5 servings in total. There is actually a machine to make this block. But I didn't buy it myself, so I tried making it by hand first. Buying a machine is to stir it thoroughly and mix it in one step. Doing it yourself will be a bit tiring. But it doesn't matter. Which breeder starts out using machines? It's better to just make a few manually first and do it for a few days. Take out your family's heirloom kitchen knife. First, cut the 1000 spice fruit into 8 pieces. This fruit has a very unique appearance. It's not the passion fruit I imagined. It's just that the name is a bit similar. The bottom of the citrus fruit, which is the calyx, is lemon orange and wraps around the fruit like a serrated mouth. And the color of the fruit is actually blue. Good guy, coming to this world. Many of these fruits have never been eaten. Moreover, each one looks different. Compared with the fruits in the previous life, they only look slightly similar. They are all different, and the taste varies a lot. I ate one before, but I don't know what kind of fruit it was. It's more sour than lemon, with that bitter taste. The man selling the fruit told me that it's ripe. After eating one, I couldn't tell where my teeth were. After a minute, my mouth didn't belong to me anymore and my tongue couldn't find the teeth. Divide the 1000 fragrance fruit into 8 petals and start crushing it. This step requires manpower. The 1000 fragrance fruit is the favorite fruit of water-type Pokémon. Its additional effect is to increase the smoothness of the Pokémon's body. If eaten raw, the effect is of course very obvious. However, if it is made into an Pokémon block, its advantages will be more prominent. Through the stimulation of various fruits, the purpose of increasing moisture can be achieved, making the scales smoother and the body more tender. This is what water-type Pokémon need. If it is a water-type Pokémon with scales or a skin-like body. If the body is very dry, then there must be something wrong with it. Some trainers who train water-type Pokémon for the grand tournament like to buy these Pokémon cubes to make their Pokémon more dazzling. That should be the case. As long as you are a trainer in the grand tournament, you will need Pokémon cubes. Not only that, some rich ladies and daughters. For the sake of their beloved pets, they spend money lavishly. It can be said that this is a career full of money. Dongfang Yan thought about it while pounding the 1000 fragrance fruit vigorously. It hurts like a lemon, it hurts like crazy. Then add fresh coconut juice. I just tasted a little bit of the citrus fruit and it tasted very astringent. It's worthy of being a fruit for Pokémon to eat, it's just different. This ridged melon is different. Under its blue appearance, it has a hard shell and a fragile heart inside. To put it simply, it's like a nut, but the meat inside is soft. The boss said this thing can be dyed. If you hold it in your mouth, within a minute, your entire mouth will be blue. If you don't know, you might think it's pigment. In addition to astringency, the taste is also bitter. In short, bitter. I don't understand why a water Pokémon would eat this stuff. Is there nothing to eat? This sugar apple is awesome. Although it tastes sour and a little astringent, it is just right. You can eat it as a plate of fruit, and it tastes better after being refrigerated. Don't ask why, I know so much, the only answer is that I ate a few from the boss. The most powerful one is the fuel of fruit, which has a sweet and sour taste. It's sweeter and looks like something you would never imagine. It actually looks like a gourd. Believe it or not, the peel is soft, not hard. It is purple in color and looks like the purple gourd among the 7 gourd brothers. When I bought it, I was totally stunned. I thought I was some kind of grandpa. Just get a gourd-shaped King Kong. When the time comes, call Sister Wan Wan. Directly perform 100,000 hot jokes. Of course, I don't mean to slander Sister Wan Wan. Pure respect. Crush the melon, grind it into powder and sprinkle it into a bowl. Let it stir evenly and the blue color will appear. Grind the rolling beans into powder. This thing is the favorite of water Pokémon. Many people use this to fish, commonly known as making a nest. Bird-type Pokémon also like to eat this, and they also like to eat that Wong Wong Valley. It's rice, but this one is very plump. The ground group of Pokémon love to eat, and they eat almost all Pokémon. Can be very humane. Squeeze out the juice from the fula and discard the peel. To be honest, this little bit of sweetness is not enough. Next comes mixing, stirring, and finally refrigeration. Once it cools down a bit, it becomes solid. Put it into a special can and it will become a Pokémon cube of water Pokémon. Dongfang Yan stirred frantically and felt like his hands were not his own. The contents of the bowl gradually became mushy and very sticky. Dongfang Yan realized that it was probably about the same. Cover it with plastic wrap, put it in the refrigerator, and leave the rest to time. Chapter 51. Dongfang Yan put the things in the refrigerator. From now on, it will just depend on time. So what to do now? Of course, I took Slowpoke to training. Just kidding, the high school entrance exam is coming soon. By then I will have to find a better high school to attend. And then just slack off, what else can you do? The true strength can only be gained through actual combat. Do you still think it's the same rote memorization education from your previous life? And after Slowpoke was strengthened by Mewtwo, it feels like the upgrades are getting faster and faster. Not only that, as long as you release psychic skills, the power will be even stronger. So what is the content of today's training with Slowpoke? It's about the accuracy of skills. Because Slowpoke's speed is so slow, it's simply outrageous. But it doesn't matter, as long as the skills are used accurately, it will be a turret. Think about it, if it is a team competition, during a melee. I took out a Slowpoke with the regeneration attribute, and added the skill laziness, plus the double special attack added by trickery. Just do a surf, or hot water, or the psychic skills of mental strength and predicting the future. Isn't this just a turret? It's very powerful, and it can be turned into a mobile turret. With the skill of instant teleportation, it is simply a mobile turret. Therefore, the potential of slow Pokémon is very sufficient. If it is cultivated into Slowking in the future, it will be simply Slowking. It's just that now Slowpoke is just stupid and has not reached the level of a king. So accuracy is what is needed at this time. So, how to improve its accuracy? When fighting in the wild, you must consider external factors, so first take out the goggles that Fatty had not sold out before. Next you need a big one. For example, the Quasi King level Night Owl began to fan. On the platform on the Rocky Mountain, a Night Owl was fanning the air. There are many stones placed on the Rocky Mountain, and this is Slowpoke's target. The Night Owl was still very powerful and was doing well on the Rocky Mountain. The Hooting Owl had already started to fan itself and nearly blew me off. Tell other Pokémon not to come up. Dongfang Yan hugged a stone and hid behind it tightly. Slowpoke was still crawling very firmly, and the hurricane blew 2 or 3 wrinkles on its forehead. I really want to laugh, but training is more important. Aim at the target, Slowpoke, and use water gun. Slowpoke's eyes widened and it quickly shot a water gun forward. The power was average and it didn't hit the target. I can only say that more practice is needed. Who can be stopped by this thing? Slowpoke, aim carefully before you hit. Dongfang Yan was wearing a mask and yelling in the back, and Night Owl was speechless. But the training still has to continue. After the last trip to the moonlit forest. After meeting Mewtwo, Slowpoke's experience level directly reached level 15. I can only say that the cheats given by Mewtwo are really awesome. At the beginning, I caught Pokemon with Slowpoke, and leveled up from level 5 to level 6, and then caught a few more Pokemon. After several battles, he even took a hit from Mewtwo, but he still won in the end. It was a barely successful victory. I could only say that it was a good thing that the machine was broken, otherwise Dragonite and I would have been beaten up badly. By the way, the flute given by Dragonite has not been used yet. The summoning flute. Free thugs are really cool. But what exactly is that Dragonite protecting? That mysterious leaf. Slowpoke uses telekinesis. When Slowpoke heard this, its eyes widened even wider. Suddenly, lavender ripples appeared around the head. Boom! There was a loud noise, and Dongfang Yan almost peed his pants with fright. Not only did he hit the rock, he also shattered it with his telekinesis. Damn, this is a bit outrageous, stupid. Dongfang Yan jumped out from behind the stone and said. Even the night owls stopped fanning themselves. Although night owl generally adds flying type. However, they have a different understanding of psychic skills, and they can skillfully use psychic skills to fight. As the saying goes, an expert will know if something is there as soon as he takes action. Night owl tilted his head and looked at Slowpoke in confusion. But Slowpokemon blushed for no apparent reason. Dongfang Yan reported this idiot for breaking the law and being an arsonist under his real name. Just kidding, getting off topic. Cuckoo! The night owl called tentatively. The surrounding Pokemon also climbed up to take a look, because the noise just now was indeed quite loud. Dongfang Yan knew what night owl meant. He was asking why Slowpoke's mental power was so strong. This doesn't seem to be the strength it can possess at its current level. What can I do? I can't say that Mewtwo did it. The fewer people who know that Mewtwo is his elder brother, the better. Because before Mewtwo becomes truly invincible, I'd better just live a quiet life. It's impossible for him to run outside. My father is Zhong He. Oh no, it's my brother Mewtwo. In the Pokemon world, strength is everything. But fortunately, I was born in the Chinese Alliance. Although the Chinese Alliance is not perfect. There are also many unfair things, but compared with other countries outside. For example, the Syrian Asian Alliance, the Ukrainian Alliance and so on. Because of the war, a large number of Pokemon lives were sacrificed. Not only that, many civilians also lost their lives. The destructive power of Pokemon is terrifying, not just those Pokemon that are evil by nature and like to attack humans. Sometimes, they will organize their own kind to attack human cities, causing great damage to the cities. And those well-trained Alliance investigators, Alliance Pokemon Corps, and so on. If they were destroyed together, it would be like a landslide. Slowpoke's situation might be a little special. After all, it's shiny, so it might be a little different. Dongfang Yan explained. Night Owl's observation ability is really strong, although it is not a very rare Pokemon. But as my grandfather's first Pokemon, it has traveled all over the country with him over the years. The evolution from a cuckoo to a night owl is extraordinary. Using Hurricane to train Slowpoke's skills increases its hit rate. This is also Night Owl's suggestion, and it is also combined with his own ideas. Cuckoo! The sound of a night owl came from behind again. Dongfang Yan felt strange because the night owl was right in front of him. When I turned around, I saw a night owl that looked just like a barred owl flying in the air. You're not Zoro, are you? What's wrong with this unfortunate kid? Dongfang Yan looked at Zoroark flying happily in the sky. The night owl was a little confused, and then a pink light appeared around it. Zoroark, who was flying freely in the air, suddenly became unable to move. Dongfang Yan curled his lips. This was a familiar feeling. He had to go through this wake-up service every morning when he slept in. Such a familiar feeling. Why do I feel like Team Rocket? Chapter 52, Pokemon Cube completed. Telekinesis is also considered an attack. Under the telekinesis of Night Owl, Zoroark was forced to reveal his true form. Solomon is really rare. From the first day Soroya came to the ecological park, the night owl paid close attention to it. Why? Because I have never seen it before. In the past, Night Owl said that he had seen the legendary navy with his grandfather. Because in the generation of our grandparents, what they wanted to chase was the legendary rainbow-colored Pokemon, Ho-Oh, which brings good luck and happiness. According to legend, anyone who sees the Phoenix King will have good luck. The rainbow feathers given by the phoenix represent that the luck of the Phoenix King will always bless you. Don't underestimate luck. Sometimes, if a skill misses, it just misses. After letting Soraya go, the unfortunate child was still immersed in the joy of being in the sky without having to flap his wings. It can be seen very clearly. Slowpoke's psychic skills are very accurate and powerful. Its water-based skills have the same power and hit rate as ordinary Slowpoke. This is different after being blessed by the divine beast. Special training cannot be neglected, and the next target will not be stone. The Pokémon in the ecological park also need to be fought appropriately. Are you kidding? You're buying it and treating it as junk? Not only that, it takes more than 10 levels for others to upgrade to level 30. How can you, who is only level, have a child? The law does not allow it. The level of Slowpoke is in the ecological park. In addition to adult Pokémon, there are also Lillipad, Walker Grass, Bear Baby, and other Pokémon. The level is not as high as it. So next, Slowpoke is the sandbag. The Pokémon took turns going up. This has to be mentioned, Slowpoke has learned a new skill, the immobilization technique. The effect of this skill is that a skill that the opponent has used cannot be used for the next 5 consecutive rounds. It can be said that it is very perverted and very effective against little Karami. Why? People at level 4, 8, and 6 only know one grabbing skill, or use random grabbing skills. Or vines. He only has one offensive skill, and you forbid him to use it. Isn't this a worthy punishment? Of course, skills will eventually run out. After Slowpoke used all its skills, it was beaten up by a group of Pokémon in the ecological park. But it doesn't matter, everyone was very careful when they acted. Who made Die Beast so stupid? Slowpoke is just dumb, but not stupid. Later on, as the fight went on, all the Pokémon joined in, and there were a few stone balls rolling in the back, trying to blend in. After this big melee, Dongfang Yan clearly felt that the cohesion of the Pokémon in the ecological park had deepened. Zoro also gradually integrated into it. These things slowly made it let down its guard and melted its heart that had been sealed off by the turbulent life outside. The most handsome dividing line in the universe. Open the refrigerator and check the mold to see if it has solidified well. It was originally put in a bowl. Halfway through, I suddenly remembered. Whose family is good? The Pokémon cube is as big as a bowl. How to eat? Do you want to chew it while holding it? You know what, it seems like there is some hope. I can make it into a poop shape, similar to Lazy Sheep's head. It's sure to be a big hit. Serve it up, this Pokémon cube won't melt at room temperature. Because of the addition of rolling beans, it is just like flour. As a high-end breeder, you must use the simplest method to check the results of your labor. Dongfang Yan was searching for guides online. Can you tell me that humans can eat this? Well, it's pure natural and pollution-free, without any additives. Individually, it's edible. Mix together and make into cubes. I am really convinced. Who is so kind that stipulates that breeders must personally taste the Pokémon cubes they make? Of the 4 raw material fruits, 3 are sour and a little astringent. There is also a sweet and sour one. What's the use of you telling me? Dongfang Yan picked up the water Pokémon cube he made. Think about whether you washed your hands, whether you went to the toilet during the meal, and whether you brought toilet paper with you. Damn, I give up. The knife is not sharp and the horse is too thin. My name is Old Secret Maker, remember that. Dongfang Yan directly picked up the water Pokémon cube he made and swallowed it in one gulp. Suddenly his whole face twisted and he vomited. This thing is edible. Dongfang Yan scratched his throat and forced himself to spit it out. This sour and refreshing taste is authentic. I almost gave myself morning sickness. Dongfang Yan has driven me into autism, and the feeling is hard to describe. Dongfang Yan pondered for a moment and felt that this thing was really not for human consumption. Dongfang Yan. A water-type Pokémon. Slowpoke tilted its head and looked at the big bowl of Pokémon cubes in front of it. Why are you just looking at me? Eat. This is a snack for you. Dongfang Yan looked at Slowpoke seriously, and to save trouble, he directly poured the Pokémon cubes in the mold into the bowl. Slowpoke opened its eyes wide, looking at the Pokémon blocks in front of it, and kept looking up at Dongfang Yan, as if confirming whether all of them had been given to it. Dongfang Yan nodded and gave a positive attitude. Slowpoke lowered its head and started eating. Dongfang Yan felt relieved when he saw that Slowpoke was eating so happily. Zoroark, who was passing by, saw Slowpoke eating so happily and couldn't help but eat a piece. Zoroya suddenly stopped. Ugh, vomit vomit. Dongfang Yan. Humph, you just don't know what's good. Look how deliciously Slowpoke is eating. Ugh, vomit vomit. Dongfang Yan turned around and saw that Slowpoke had already vomited all over the place. Ah, die, your reflex arc. Okay. The emetic was successfully made. Directly complete the achievement, Breaking Bad. What exactly went wrong? Dongfang Yan was thinking. System. Ding dong. I'm here. Isn't that the recipe you gave me, the genuine water spirit cube crafting recipe? System. Give me a definite answer. Is there still more Pinzaduo? Can you help cut it? You need to collect the other 3 to unlock the complete form. System, I suggest the host to restart. Dongfang Yan. Take a look, take a look. This system is full of personal attacks. Is it so difficult to answer the question? Dongfang Yan took out the water Pokémon block produced by the system. This color, the water Pokémon block produced by the system, has 3 water lines and is dark blue. Made my own, Just a light blue square. Are these 2 systems the same thing, or are they classified? System, there are 2 types of Pokémon blocks, ordinary blocks and powerful blocks. Dessler, that's how it is. Then this is just an ordinary Pokémon cube. Dongfang Yan smiled confidently, thinking that he was still pretty good. Although it had a bit of a vomiting effect, it was still pretty good. Oh, you think too much, you are a first-class inferior product. Chapter 53, The Pokémon Cube is successfully made. Dongfang Yan was speechless. Aren't there 2 categories? What does this mean? System, please explain it to me. Dongfang Yan cursed in his heart. System, do you think you are making an emetic or a spirit cube? Tell me the truth. Although I really want to refute, but looking at the vomit in the trash can, what can I say? I want to be stubborn, but it's just a thought. Hey, System Master, please give me some advice. Love you. System. The method of making the Pokémon block that the host searched on the internet is just a conventional method. Because the recipes are different, you can't follow other people's methods. Ah, why didn't you say so earlier? Dongfang Yan spread his hands and said. You didn't ask the system. Dongfang Yan's face darkened. Then what should I do? Dongfang Yan asked with the determination to ask questions without any shame. Grind the rolling beans and ridged melon into powder, and take out the soft flesh inside the ridged melon and grind it into powder, otherwise it will taste very sour and astringent. Doing this will reduce the sourness. Mix the 2 powders together first. You previously crushed the fruit into juice and then added the powder. This means that the powder balls are not completely melted and are in clumps. It's just that the colors are too dark, so you can't see it. The system explained. That seems to make sense. System Master, please continue. Mix the guava and citrus fruit powder together and add fresh coconut water. Blend the 1000 fragrance fruit and fortune fruit into juice. Don't throw away the peels. It's a waste. Dongfang Yan looked at the fuel of fruit peels in the trash can guiltily without saying a word. Put the mixed juice of the tree fruits in the refrigerator first, ferment the rolling bean powder and the ridged melon fruit powder into dough, and add the mixed juice of the tree fruits when it is half fermented. It is fermented again, poured into molds, and refrigerated. After it is successfully produced, it is soft and melts in the mouth, and tastes sour and sweet. This is the procedure for making a water spirit block. Snap, snap, snap. Dongfang Yan clapped his hands very vigorously. Understand the applause. Dongfang Yan echoed. There is no such thing as a third time. It is impossible to go wrong with such a simple thing again. There is no other way but to take out the tree fruits and fresh coconuts. I can only continue to beat lemon tea violently until it hurts like crazy. After half an hour, the water Pokémon block was successfully produced. Dongfang Yan picked up the Pokémon cube and looked at it carefully. No, why are there 2 different kinds of this thing? Look at the system. Dongfang Yan picked up 2 Pokémon cubes of different types. One is a normal block and the other is a powerful block. Really? This thing can be random. How can I be so awesome? Tongzi, I will protect you from now on. System. Slowpoke looked at the Pokemon cube in front of him. I tilted my head and looked at Dongfang Yan. Are you crazy? Zoro took a look and immediately transformed into a night owl and flew into the sky. After a while, looking at Zoroark who was being escorted over, he crossed his arms over his chest with a look of dissatisfaction on his face. Dongfang Yan was really amused. Why don't you imitate anyone else? Why not imitate the coolest one in this ecological park? Dongfang Yan picked up the Pokemon cube and stuffed it into Zoroark's mouth with an evil smile on his face. And Zoroark's face was full of surprise and he looked like he had lost all hope in life. After a while, Soraya chewed a few bites. Ahoy! It seems to be okay, I don't feel like vomiting. And Slowpoke started to show off wildly again, as if the wound had healed and he had forgotten the pain. But it doesn't matter, as a stupid person, you have to be different. The other Pokemon saw this and tried a piece or two. All gave affirmative answers. Seeing this, Dongfang Yan was relieved. If you want to sell it, you need the league's approval, but that's not particularly difficult. As long as your ingredients are fresh and safe, there is almost no problem. Moreover, as a Pokemon breeder, it is not uncommon to know how to make some blocks. On the contrary, most breeders have some side jobs. In order to better cultivate Pokemon, breeder is most people's choice, and there is also Pokemon masseur. There are many professions in Pokemon. For example, Pokemon item makers, Pokemon scientists, Pokemon historians, Pokemonologists, and so on. A series of professions represent the bond between Pokemon and humans. Pokemon scientists study the various behaviors of Pokemon, such as the clustering of Butterfree during the breeding season. At certain seasons, butterflies from all over the world will fly to the places where they have reproduced for generations. Fly freely in the sky, fly everywhere, looking for the person you like. Pokemonologists study these things. For example, Professor Oak in the TV anime is a Pokemon scientist, a Pokemonologist, and also. Anyway, it's pretty awesome, owning hundreds of acres of land to raise Pokemon. Or the place that specifically provides the starting Pokemon in that area. I can only say that I am a winner in life. It's much better than my own small breeding house and the ecological park behind it. But it doesn't matter, there will be bread, there will be everything. In a few days, the Yunao breeding house will open. The ecological park is temporarily closed. The young Pokemons in the ecological park will have to wait another week. It's just that the high school entrance exam is coming soon, and it's also stuck in that time period. Don't say that our own Slowpoke is invincible. It can also be said that it is the best among the crowd. In a duel, whoever comes first will die. There is nothing much to say. To beat these little Karamis, you just need to have hands. By then, we will need to apply for a health certificate, and the water Pokemon blocks will also need to be put on the market. For the sake of reputation, it must be done. Some of the trees in the ecological park will be replaced with various fruit trees. In this way, you will have enough raw materials to make water Pokemon blocks. In this way, there is no cost for yourself and you can make a huge profit directly. You will have both reputation and money. But now we still have to prepare for the opening tomorrow. Although there are enough Pokemon eggs prepared, some with high qualifications and some with poor qualifications, the main thing is that the groups they face are different. One is for Pokemon trainers, and the other is for ordinary people. If your grandparents, young masters, or young ladies need company, Pokemon will perfectly meet all the requirements. Smart, lively, dedicated and loyal. Of course, a trainer or owner who is not nice to Pokemon is a scumbag who abuses Pokemon. They might get backlash from Pokemon, and it can only be said that those people deserve to die. Although some Pokemons have good qualifications, they can be used as breeding seeds for Pokemon in the ecological park. But there is no need, too small a population will reproduce too slowly. It takes time to get used to each other. But the ecological park doesn't have that much time at the moment. We can only capture couples, such as the Pang Yan monster couple, who are still staying in the small cave and no one knows what they are doing. And since all the Misskirts are female, they need other male plants to reproduce. Chapter 54. Preparing for opening. Sunny weather is naturally comfortable. Not too hot, not too dark, just right. But the morals of the world are deteriorating. Jingle bell. Dongfang Yan picked up the illustrated book, touched it a few times casually, and the sound disappeared. This thing really goes off when used as an alarm clock. Dongfang Yan took off his blindfold and looked out the window. A black shadow flashed. A night owl appeared at the window. He tilted his head and looked at Dongfang Yan in surprise. It really made me laugh. Can you believe it? Do you believe it? Appear in front of the window at 7 o'clock every morning. No matter it is windy or rainy, I will use my telekinesis to wake you up on time. I almost woke up naturally. This familiar feeling is experienced every day. In fact, I'm used to it. I'm used to it, doing a 360-degree backflip every morning. Add 500 random pull-ups, 60 earth throws, 30 monkeys catching the moon, and 20 inverted fuchsias. A high-class wake-up call, a second-rate exercise class, and a low-class me. Off topic, never mind. But today is still very important. The breeding house will open today. So get up early and clean up. Although the breeding house has been renovated. To be honest, that kind of light and natural style is really very touching. Of course, the store's mascot also has to be taken out, not Slowpoke. Slowpoke is so dazzling, after all, it is shiny. I don't want the limelight of the opening of the breeding house to be stolen by Slowpoke. So besides this, what other mascots are there? Zoroya certainly can't do that either, as that thing was tricked into the ecological park with great difficulty. What if I take it out and it runs away? I haven't tamed it yet. What if it runs away after being tamed? How to find it? So it still depends on whether it wants to stay. Even a baby bear won't work, this thing is a real bear. The lily root doll is actually pretty good, or a gugu. Walking on grass is too common and not very good. Popo is also quite common, but forget about gopher. As for the stone balls, I was afraid that someone would put them in a sack and take them away. Although it is not a rare Pokémon, it is easy to be carried away. It will roll over twice while walking. He was kicked out without giving anyone a chance. Then choose between Gugu and Lily Root Doll. Only children make choices, adults want them all. Although I am only in my teens in this body, it's a bit embarrassing. This is what Dongfang Yan thought. Cuckoo is on the tree next to the breeding house. It sleeps during the day. It can't be compared with a night owl. Look at the night owl, it seems that it doesn't close its eyes for 365 days out of 360 days in a year. Arrive on time every morning. As for the lily root dolls, just leave them on the counter. We must avoid dirty hands. Such a cute thing should not be touched casually. This is also a publicity for the subsequent development of the ecological park. Dongfang Yan brought Xiaoxi and Gugu out of the ecological park, and the night owl was no longer under his control. Xiaoxi, just follow me, stay here, and follow me wherever I go, okay? Dongfang Yan asked softly. Lily-rooted doll Little C nodded shyly. Dongfang Yan couldn't help but stroke it twice, this thing is really cute. I remember that in the previous life's ranking list, in addition to the wife beast, its evolution was also among the top 10 influential figures. The lily root doll also occupies a place on the cuteness list. Even straight men can't handle it, let alone boys and girls. She is simply the darling of girls and instantly arouses men's desire to protect and women's desire to care for her. There is no need to talk about strength. It has some strength, but not much, as it mainly plays a supporting role. For example, Sunny Day and Lily Root Doll can be learned at level 40, or aromatherapy and help, which are all good auxiliary skills. It can be said that in some occasions, it is also a very important Pokémon. This is the type where you have good looks and some supporting strength, but you still have good looks. As for Gugu, well, don't run around during the opening hours. Just stay in this tree. You can sleep as you like. But if you run around, the night owl will take care of you. After hearing this, Gugu nodded continuously. In a word, making a Pokémon obey you obediently shows your strength. The sanitation of the ecological park was just taken care of casually. It was just grass and trees, and the main thing was to water the fruit seedlings. Moreover, the ecological park after the system transformation can automatically decompose those secretions. You don't need to worry too much about hygiene, unless the Pokémon doesn't want to take a bath. Next, we need to keep the breeding house clean and give it a thorough cleaning. After wiping the table, it was a large round table with a hole in the middle and a beautiful tree growing up from it, just reaching the ceiling. When you open the door, you can hear the sound of wind chimes, which not only reminds the owner, but also makes people feel cool and refreshed. Next to the table is the sofa, and on the far right is the Pokémon cleaning room, where you can give Pokémon massages, baths, trims, etc. Of course, I don't know how to do that now. Just treat it as a decoration and use it to practice with the Pokémon in the ecological park whenever you have time. On the left is a display case with some important Pokémon eggs on it. The wall behind the display case is filled with Pokémon eggs and has a pull-out staircase. Just reach out and pull, and you can pull the top layer to the bottom layer, similar to a rotation. Various levels of qualifications are indicated, and classification by qualifications can help people determine their goals more quickly and facilitate searching. Finally, I went to the counter to settle the bill. Of course, the counter was inside. Pushing open the small fence of the counter means entering the counter. A long time ago, I complained about this small fence, calling it the psychological comfort door. There is a door next to the counter, which is the back door. There are stairs going up, and under the stairs is where the eggs are stored. Further back is the backyard, and then the ecological park. This layout is relatively clear at a glance. The vast horizon is my love. The phone rang, and the sound was really embarrassing. I don't know why, but now when I make a phone call, the Pokémon Encyclopedia's ringtone will be displayed. The ringtone when calling is the other party's illustrated ringtone. This sound can only be described as piercing the sky. Hey, Grandma, what's wrong? Dongfang Yan picked up the illustrated book and answered the phone. Hey, grandson, you got up so early. Today is the opening day of the breeding house. Are you confident? Although I know that I am indeed her grandson, I don't know why it just feels so strange to talk about it. Of course, we have to arrange it, okay? Dongfang Yan patted his chest and said that he was invincible. Seeing this, Grandma didn't say anything else. She just reminded me to be careful, eat well and keep warm, then hung up the phone. I don't know what she was busy with. We had clearly agreed to go to her sister's house. But it didn't seem like it. When I asked her what she was doing, she didn't say anything. Every time he just calls me in a hurry, forget it. Does a Quasi King trainer need to worry about it himself? With my breast, she can beat 10 little Karamis like me without any problem. It can run and jump, and when it's time, it can even ride on the big bird and fly in the sky. All kidding aside, when they were younger, one rode a nighthawk and the other rode a Pidgeot. How cool and happy! It's really good to be young. I looked at the time, prepared the cold drinks, and told Xiao Si that when someone came over, he should give them a cup, no more than that. If they wanted more, they should pay $1 and enjoy the ultimate cold drink, boiled water. The park opened on time at 8 o'clock. Dongfang Yan sat at the counter and counted down. To be honest, he was still a little nervous. Gugu had already flown to the tree and was taking a nap. Lily Root Doll picked up the water cup and was ready for action. Chapter 55. Opening Business. Dongfang Yan came to the door and took a deep breath. Push the door open violently. Bang! What? A scream was heard from outside the door. It's over, I hit someone. Dongfang Yan was so scared that he went out to check. The fat man was sitting on the ground, holding a bouquet of flowers and a firework stick in his hand. One hand covers the nose. The bad news hit people, the good news is Fatty Chien. What are you doing standing at the door so early in the morning? Dongfang Yan helped the fat man up and asked. Fuck, you heartless guy, aren't you opening your business today? Fatty, I'm here to support you. Just use this to show your support. Dongfang Yan picked up the firework stick from the fat man's hand, which was not much bigger than a palm. He fired at the fat guy's butt. Go away, I don't want to talk to you anymore, just let me in. After saying that, the fat man pushed Dongfang Yan away and went in. I'll wipe. You're not fat, what's wrong with you? Dongfang Yan hurried back. I saw the fat man standing there in a daze. What's wrong? The fat man pointed tremblingly inside the breeding house. No, I haven't been here for half a month. Is there such a big change? Inside the breeding house, wind chimes were ringing, making clear, ringing sounds. Gugu opened half of his eyes, took a look, and then went back to sleep. The lily root doll held the water, and quickly walked over to the fat man with its short legs and gave him a glass of water. Did you catch this lily root doll? The fat man took the water, a little confused. Who told you that I only caught the stone balls? Didn't your butler tell you? I caught so many Pokémon. The fat man recalled, I think I said that, but I didn't pay attention. I just know that you caught Diglett and Pidgeot, and you didn't use Pokeballs to capture them. You ran away with people's heads in your hands. Dongfang Yan. Your home has undergone major renovations. When did you bring this tree in? The fat man was very confused. Dongfang Yan was a little afraid to let the fat man continue asking. Good man, can I tell you something about the system? Don't say any more, come and help, there will be guests coming soon. Oh, I haven't had breakfast yet. Make me one. Excuse me, is this the Yunao breeding house? Someone outside pushed the door open, and the wind chimes made a crisp sound. Dongfang Yan had just prepared breakfast and asked Fatty to bring it upstairs to eat. Someone came outside the door. Hello, hello, this is the Yunao breeding house. Dongfang Yan immediately greeted him with a smile and gave Lilyroot doll a hint. Little C was also very smart. He picked up the cup of water and handed it over. Oh, thank you very much. Baby. The visitor was a woman dressed rather elegantly in a professional suit and holding a bag that looked to be a famous brand. Hello, what do you need? Dongfang Yan went straight to the point and asked, serving customers is his professional quality. It's like this, I have to work in Yongyuan City. Although it's very close to Yangcheng, I can hardly come back once a week. My dad is getting old, and he's been living alone since my mom passed away. I want to buy a Pokémon to keep him company. Do you have any recommendations? The career woman inquired. Well, please leave your name and contact information, I will visit you again when the time comes. Okay, you can call me Sister Shuet. My name is Li Sweryui and my contact number is 1374664. Okay, let me recommend you some Pokémon eggs we have here. Do you want ones with high qualifications or low qualifications? It doesn't matter, as long as they meet eyes. What a rich guy, Dongfang Yan thought. Okay, we have some Pokémon eggs with high qualifications, some with low qualifications, and some with low qualifications. If you don't have any requirements, then I would recommend this Pokémon that is more clingy. Sister Shuet, think about it. Uncle Jia will be bored at home. A clingy Pokémon will make him unhappy and distract him. He won't think too much and will be busy. His mood will definitely improve and he won't think about those nonsense. Li Sweryui thought about it and it seemed to make some sense. You seem to know a lot, kid. I saw the video above in the Pokémon encyclopedia and saw that you were excellent in combat, so I decided to take a look. I didn't expect you to know how to recommend it. Please continue to tell me. Li Sweryui said with admiration. Dongfang Yan scratched his head shyly, I have some clingy Pokémon here, including Meowth, Big Tongue, Marilu, and so on. If Uncle likes sports, I also suggest that Pokémon like arm wrestling, which love sports and have strong self-discipline, are more suitable for Uncle. He seemed to be quite fond of sports before, but later on he became less interested in sports. Li Sweryui thought about it. How about this wrist strength? Sister, don't worry, I must be excellent, and my qualifications are relatively good, D-level qualifications. Do you have after-sales service? Well, you mean? Like some benefits? Of course there is. See that bathroom next to it? You can come here once a month to regularly check the health of your Pokémon. The main thing is to relax your Pokémon and give it a massage and bath. Even though it doesn't happen now, it doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. Dongfang Yan thought, at worst he could just learn it when the time comes. I heard that you have built an ecological park here. Can I go in and take a look? Li Sweryui asked happily. Sister Shuet, that place is still under renovation and construction is going on inside. It's not open to the public. Well, your place is the first ecological park in Yangcheng. Even Yongyuan has no ecological park. There are still many people laughing at you there. But for now, I am still more optimistic about you. Please wrap up the Pokémon eggs for me. Do you have anything else for me? Li Sweryui took out the card and asked. Dongfang Yan looked at the gold-plated black card with a limit of 1,000 million. Moment. Sister, please take your time. You will have time to play. Dongfang Yan sat back at the counter. Lilyroot doll handed him a handkerchief. He took it and wiped his face. The fat man came down from upstairs and said, Sure, we've made an order right away. You thought so, but it was really tiring. After all the hard work, I only sold one Pokémon egg. Business is like this. The fat man had an expression that said, you still need to practice. Dongfang Yan rolled his eyes. No matter what the after-sales service is, everything needs to be explained clearly, otherwise how can you make others feel at ease? Finally, I sent some of the water Pokémon blocks I made yesterday. What is this? Keep your voice down, sis. This is my family's exclusive secret recipe. We made our own water spirit cubes. They are the only ones we have. They haven't been put on the market yet, so you won't be able to buy them when the time comes. I can't believe you can do these things. Come on, sister, this shop has been passed down for 3 generations. Li Swear Yui nodded. That was true. This store had been there when she was a child, but she didn't buy her first Pokémon here. Chapter 56. A moment passed. There was a sudden noise at the door. Dongfang Yan looked up. A large group of people came to the door. Wow! It's so beautiful here. A group of people rushed in, completely confusing Dongfang Yan. Wow, there's a bird here. Obviously, these are customers. Boss, I've seen you. This group of people completely confused Dongfang Yan. A group of people asked this and that, and Dongfang Yan answered this and that, saying no. Hey! Look at me! A voice sounded. Dongfang Yan was already in a panic. To be honest, a group of people rushed in and asked questions all over the place. Anyone would be in a mess unless they are experienced in many battles. But at this moment, a voice sounded, and Dongfang Yan instantly felt what a life-saving straw was. I saw Sister Wan Wan appear at the door, and the fat man was holding a glass of water timidly. I can only say that the sense of oppression is enough. Finally, with the help of Sister Wan Wan, we started to divert people. In order to better serve others, just kidding, when a group of people come in, you introduce them to each other one by one. It's simply impossible. Whoever feels resentful will be the one who suffers. The lily root doll was in a panic, not knowing who to give the water to. A group of people were looking and touching, and some excitedly asked if it was a Pokémon and whether it was for sale. How can this be possible? Good man, I sold you an Pokémon egg, and you still want to kidnap my little C. You're kidding, of course you can't do that. I sell Pokémon eggs, but I don't sell baby Pokémon yet. Are you so impatient? Fortunately, Sister Wan Wan came and worked in the Pokémon Center, also known as the Pokémon Hospital, for a long time. His strength is extraordinary, and he can easily get these Pokémon eggs. Totally well informed. The suggestions he gave to others were also very pertinent and effective. Dongfang Yan felt immediately ashamed of himself. Fatty was such a rich man, but faced with such a situation, he could only help Xiao Si pass the water. Finally done. Dongfang Yan slumped on the ground, exhausted after a hard day's work. More people were attracted by the video in the Pokémon Encyclopedia. Dongfang Yan felt very speechless. Some people just come to look but don't buy. The main purpose is to join in the fun. When facing such a person, you can't scold him, but you will feel uncomfortable if you don't scold him. There is really no way. But fortunately, at the critical moment, our own Sister Wan Wan came to the rescue with excellent professional qualities. Coupled with a strong physique and an oppressive aura. Let everyone communicate with each other very patiently. Little C passed the water very smoothly, and Gugu was sleeping soundly on the tree. There were a few naughty kids below, and he couldn't help but make clicking sounds. After a busy day, I managed to sell almost half of the Pokémon eggs in the breeding house. Wow, I have to say, it's really amazing. But if I rely on myself alone, I don't think I can be so successful. Dongfang Yan was so tired that he was sweating all over, looking at Sister Wan Wan, whose body was also wet. Even with air conditioning, people were walking around, introducing this and that. There's really no way to joke about it. You have to be hot when you should be hot, and you have to be tired when you should be tired. Little C was also very tired. There were people walking around, serving tea and water, and there was actually someone who, in tears, scanned a code for $1 in order to let Xiao Si pass him water. I'm really convinced. Sister Wan Wan, thanks to your help today. Dongfang Yan picked up a glass of water and handed it over respectfully. I admire her very much both physically and mentally. It's a small problem. These are all small things. You really have a lot of customers today, but it's okay. Sometimes the Pokémon Center is also overcrowded. Indeed, the middle school students were admitted to high schools and went out to fight for gym badges. I go to the hospital countless times a day. There is also a gym near Eternal City, which is located at the junction of Eternal City and other cities. There are also many people who go there to challenge, most of them are locals. It is easier to go to the Pokémon hospital because it is close. Sometimes it's really hilarious. Sister Wan Wan, I'll give you a day's salary. To be honest, if I hadn't had Sister Juan Juan's help today, I really wouldn't have been able to handle it on my own. Dongfang Yan then took out a card with 50 yuan in it from the drawer and handed it to Sister Wan Wan. It's not that you've grown wings, Xiao Yan. Sister, do I need these things to help you? Sister Wan Wan said with a bad look on her face. Dongfang Yan quickly explained. No, Sister Wan Wan, you have helped me so much, and it is your rest time, I must not let you make this trip in vain. Not to mention the relationship between us. You're becoming more and more slick. I've never seen you talk so much before. Alright, now that you know we have a good relationship, don't say anything more. I'm leaving now. After saying that, Sister Wan Wan picked up her bag, turned around and left. I took a glass of water by the way, there was no other way. Sometimes, Sister Wan Wan is just so stubborn. The fat man just lay down for the whole day. Dongfang Yan couldn't help but kicked him. This is what you look like when you come to help, you fat man. What? Ah! Spare my life, spare my life. He gave the fat guy a good beating, and also took Gugu down and gave him a good beating as well. A Pokémon and a human were telling each other the bad things about the Oriental dialect. I feel so aggrieved and miserable inside. Gugu felt even more uncomfortable. Didn't you ask me to sleep on it? Why are you still beating me? Fatty Qian also felt uncomfortable. Didn't I come here to celebrate with you, just to ask you to make breakfast for me? It's just a few glasses of water. Isn't it just lying there and watching and doing nothing? What did I do wrong? People are not old. Fatty is really miserable. I want to cry, but I'm afraid of being beaten. Stop pushing and nagging. Come here and help me clean up. Dongfang Yan put his hands on his hips, holding a broom in his hands, and threw the rag directly at the two of them. Just distribute it among yourselves, stop complaining. Eastern dialects restrict them sentence by sentence. A Pokémon, plus a human, started cleaning like crazy. Gugu grabbed the rag with his claws and twisted it back and forth. Xiao Si let him go back. There was nothing he could do because the other person was very tired today and he had to let him have a rest. Fatty and these guys just don't do anything. Which good person does nothing after eating? There is no other one except the fat man, right? Just when Fatty and Gugu were cleaning frantically. The phone rang again. Wow, who is it? Dongfang Yan shouted as soon as he picked up the phone. He was so tired that he didn't even want to look at the display screen of the Pokémon encyclopedia. Who do you think I am? Hearing the familiar voice on the phone, Dongfang Yan felt inexplicably embarrassed. Grandma, why are you calling again? What's wrong with just hitting me? How was it? What was your experience today? Stop talking. I'm exhausted. Dongfang Yan complained quickly. Luckily, Sister Wan Wan came to help. I really can't handle it all by myself. Was it Wan Wan who helped again? This child is still like this. What do you mean? By the way, Grandma, why is Sister Wan Wan so nice to us? Dongfang Yan asked doubtfully. Well. Chapter 57. Family. Do you know what aristocratic family is? Ah, what the hell, family? You can understand it that way. Grandma Lan continued on the phone. Many big families are very cruel in training Pokémon trainers. They use an elimination system. If you don't meet their requirements, you will be banished to a branch of the family or left to fend for yourself. Dongfang Yan was a little stunned. Isn't this so outrageous? Xiao Yan, you may not believe it, but it's true. Pokémon have a long lifespan. Even if their trainer dies, they may still be alive in this world. And if a family produces a king-level Pokémon, or even a champion-level Pokémon, even if the trainer dies, the Pokémon can be passed down as a legacy Pokémon and will always be guarded by the family. Over time, the family will become stronger and stronger, and the system will become more strict. Your sister Wan Wan was abandoned by the family for some reason. In the end, your grandfather and I sponsored her to attend Pokémon High School to learn Pokémon care knowledge. Grandma Lan explained on the phone. Dongfang Yan understood after listening to it. Just like Nidal, even after his death, Grandpa still protects the family, except that others have more inherited Pokémon. Alas, this world is still a bit dangerous. Such a large family must be extremely powerful. So, I can actually get Sister Wanwan to join us. In fact, when it comes to strength, no matter how awesome your Pokémon is, it can only be at the champion level. Are you as awesome as me, Mewtwo? My eldest brother is Mewtwo. It's so funny. There's no need to be afraid at all. The dog system is useless and it's not as practical as clinging to someone powerful. System. Just kidding, hehe, Xiao Xi, you are so useful, how could I dislike you? Although Sister Wanwan was admitted to the Pokémon hospital and received a fixed salary, it would continue to rise in the future. Instead of this, our own ecological park also has a breeding house that needs help, as mentioned before. I don't trust others to do the job, and those I trust may not be able to do the job, and they don't have enough professional knowledge. Sister Wanwan, it seems to be the only choice now. It just depends on Sister Junjun's wishes. Grandma, why don't we get Sister Wanwan to join us? Dongfang Yan asked immediately, wanting his grandmother to give him some advice. Haha, you actually have such an idea, this is your business, I am retired now. He is a good horse, and you still want to be a good horse trainer? Okay, I'm hanging up, I have something to do. The phone dialed once and then hung up. The speed of hanging up the phone is still as fast as ever. Dong Fanjian hung up the phone before he could respond. I put away the Pokémon illustrated book and thought about it again and again, and I decided to become a mentor. Opportunities are rare and will never come back. I can't learn all the knowledge about Pokémon care in a short time. Making an Pokémon cube made me so exhausted that I almost died, and by chance I made an emetic. And they asked me to learn other things, which is really funny. By then, he will become a weird person, let alone opening a store. He will just switch career and become a host. I have to think of a way and have a good talk with Sister Wanwan. Liu Bei had to visit Zhujiang 3 times, but I just looked around 4 times. Fatty, what can you do? Dongfang Yan looked at the fat man who was still mopping the floor. She didn't even avoid him when talking to Grandma, are you kidding? The fat man is most likely a member of such a family. How could he not know these things? I think, considering your relationship with Sister Wanwan, you should be sincere. Sincerity comes first, okay. The fat man looked like a military strategist. Then you will go with me. I remembered I have something else to do, I'll slip away first. The fat man dropped the mop and ran away. Fuck, you fat bastard, you haven't even finished cleaning yet. Looking at the empty space outside, I have to say that the fat guy ran really fast. System, accept daily tasks and calculate today's reputation points. Ding dong. Total reputation is 1035. Today I earned 854 reputation points. Daily mission reputation is 50. The overfulfilled mission multiplied by 3 equals 150. Total is 2038. Damn, why are there so many all of a sudden? Due to the widespread of the message, the host is about to achieve a certain level of fame. Please keep working hard. Suddenly a voice came from the system. Damn, what's the point of this achievement? Is there a reward? Dongfang Yan asked hurriedly. Then the system held its breath again and continued diving. Dongfang Yan took out the Pokémon encyclopedia, found Sister Junjun's phone number, and dialed it. It would be better to find a time to meet in person. Hey, Sister Wanwan, it's me, Xiao Yan. Yes, I want to thank you. I'll treat you to dinner tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow afternoon at 2, right? Okay. After the call, Dongfang Yan felt relieved. I'm going to find a way to communicate with her and convince her. Not only for myself, but also for Sister Wanwan. It must be hard to be abandoned by your family. If it weren't for the support of my grandparents over the years, I think Sister Wanwan would have felt even worse. I can see that Sister Wanwan is very good to her family. If something is mutually beneficial, she must be involved. Not to mention anything else, just the profits from the ecological park and the breeding house alone, at the end of the day, they had made 865 million yuan, and after deducting the costs, they made more than 200 million yuan. This is just selling Pokémon eggs. Then, when the young Pokémon in the ecological park grow up, if we have more breeding populations, there will be almost no cost. What will the ecological park look like at that time? What is the situation at the Uni breeding house? It's really inspiring and the future is bright. In order to improve reputation, customers can be randomly selected to participate in the construction of the ecological park. The main purpose is to visit and observe Pokémon resting and playing in the ecological park, and feel their mental outlook. This reputation value is rising rapidly. There are so many good things in the store, and I can only look at them. I can't tell you how sad I am. It was already late and we didn't finish until the afternoon. After closing the shop in the breeding house, I have to prepare for the high school entrance examination and, more importantly, the development of the ecological park. What has been confirmed is that 2 young Pokémons will be released temporarily, and they have been confirmed to be Ishiganko and Lilyroot Doll. 2 Pokémon will be drawn online when the time comes, or 2 people will be drawn locally in Yangcheng. Just meet with the Pokémon for now. If both parties are not satisfied, then forget it. If both parties are satisfied and spend a few days together, let him come to the Yunai breeding house to meet every day, and the relationship between the 2 sides will be established naturally, then it will be okay. After all, you are also responsible for the Pokémon, and you will also agree to return to the ecological park when you have time to check the mental state of the Pokémon regularly to determine whether you are abusing the Pokémon. After all, I have to be the one to beat the Pokémons I released. It doesn't matter if you two have a good relationship, but I'm afraid of those guys with bad intentions. Chapter 58. Yangcheng Hotel. Yangcheng Hotel. Dongfang Yan had already arrived at the hotel early and was waiting. This is to show our sincerity. The food has been ordered and we can start eating as soon as Sister Wan arrives. Many people came to the breeding house this morning, even though most of them just came to take a look and visit the ecological park. But it doesn't matter if you didn't buy it, as long as you give it the required reputation value. Although they didn't go in, they saw that there was such a large protective shield outside. They were also very satisfied and made some exclamations, saying that if they could go in and have a visit, please be sure to ask them to go. After seeing the decoration of the breeding house, they were amazed. The lily-rooted doll, Little C, was also grabbed and forced to take a few photos. Some old customers also sighed with emotion, saying that people are shaped by the land and water they live in, and that a new official will make 3 major changes when he takes office. Although they miss the past, they are still full of admiration now, saying that Dongfang Yan has inherited the fine traditions of his family. After taking care of the matters at the ecological park and asking Night Owl to look after the house, he came to the restaurant early, ordered food and called a private room. After a while, there was a knock on the door outside the box. Boom boom boom. Please come in. Dongfang Yan quickly stood up and responded. Xiao Yan, why are you here so early? As expected, it was Sister Wan. Not early, not early. The main thing is that I have to arrange for my sister to be in place. This mouth is becoming more and more slick. Sister Wan smiled, picked up a bottle of beer, and opened it with a gentle twist. Xiao Yan, do you drink? Sister Wan handed over the wine and asked. I don't drink it, I drink juice. Dongfang Yan refused without hesitation. Just kidding, you must understand your identity at this moment. I am a minor and a younger brother. That's why your father hands you a cigarette. To answer or not? How to pick it up? It's connected, and everything is fine. If you don't connect well, I'll scatter your ashes. Juice, hey. Sister Wan picked up a bottle of juice and opened it with a light twist. This is the weak and cute girl. Sister Wan, it's really except for her body, oh, no, her body is also top-notch, in that sense of the word. Although he has an innocent face, his body, comparable to that of a bodybuilder, is irresistible. The main focus is on the beauty of contrast. Just tell me if it's beautiful or not. Dongfang Yan took the juice obediently. The meal was served soon. Sister Wan started to eat voraciously. Dongfang Yan saw how happily she was eating, and his thoughts of talking about other things were dispelled. Never mind, let's eat first. Ever since. The two of them said nothing, just lowered their heads and ate frantically. The waitress who came in to serve the food was so scared. Sister Juan's figure is originally quite oppressive. This made her even more scared, as it looked like someone who hadn't eaten in 10 years. It's like he went in, underwent labor reform, and finally came out as a 5-star good citizen. But that innocent face, how can I put it, it's a contrast. Dongfang Yan and Sister Wan Wan finished all 8 dishes in a short while, and even ordered a few more main dishes, but they still seemed to be unsatisfied. The 2 men were burping and drinking, totally out of character. After a good meal and wine. Xiao Yan, what do you want to talk to me about? You are a kid who never comes to visit a temple for no reason, never tries to please others for no reason, and never does anything for no reason. You are either a traitor or a thief. While your sister Wan is enjoying her meal today, have a good chat with her. Sister Wan Wan, with one foot on the table, spoke casually. It turns out that Sister Wan Wan already knew my purpose. Dongfang Yan thought to himself. But, sister, you look like a gangster, not a good person. Hehe, mainly I want to keep in touch with you, Sister Wan. Dongfang Yan flattered him. Stop talking nonsense, or I'll beat you up if you keep pushing me. Our Sister Wan is an extraordinary person. In that case, just open the window and talk. It's like this, Sister Wan Wan, I really admire your abilities. You know the current situation of my breeding house, and we have such a large ecological park to manage. I will be going to school by then, and I won't have that much time in the day. I want to ask someone to help, but there is no one. After thinking about it, I still feel uneasy. But now that you are here, Sister Wan Wan, you are capable, beautiful, and kind-hearted. I trust you very much, so I would like to invite you to our home and help us build our common breeding house and ecological park. Dongfang Yan said sincerely. Sister Wan Wan didn't say anything. She just picked up a bottle of wine and took a sip. Moment. Do you know the relationship between me and your grandma? Sister Wan Wan asked. Dongfang Yan touched his head and said embarrassedly, I know a little bit. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's normal. Survival of the fittest. If you fail, you will be eliminated. Sister Wan Wan said calmly. I was born different from ordinary people. I have been stronger than others since I was a child. Even some Pokémon may not be able to beat me. As a member of an aristocratic family, our family is a family named after medical treatment, and for a family named after medical treatment, its image and ability are very important. As for my abilities, I think I'm already good enough. I can't say I'm invincible, but I can say I'm the best among the rest. Any Pokémon that faces me must listen to my commands and be 3 points lower than me. It is because of the cooperation of Pokémon that my own medical ability makes me stand out in the competition among the clans. But, in some aspects, I was passed. I know the reason, but I am unwilling to accept it. I was sent to a remote area, and finally came to Yangcheng, where I met your grandmother, Grandma Mulan. Your grandfather also gave me a lot of support. With their help, I was able to go to Pokémon High School and became a director at the Pokémon Center with my own strength. Even so, it is still difficult to climb to a higher level with my own strength. The barrier of the family still restricts me. Sister Wan Wan took another sip of wine and continued. Today, you told me all this, and I was also surprised, but after thinking about it, I'll give you a chance, but you have to answer me, what is your dream? Sister Wan Wan put down the beer bottle and stared at Dongfang Yan with her eyes fixed. Brought some scrutiny, and some criticism. Dongfang Yan knew that this was also a test. There is no doubt that Sister Juan's medical skills are extremely strong. We don't know her true abilities yet, but she is probably not mediocre. She can beat up Pokémon by herself, so how could the Pokémon she raises be any worse? After a moment of contemplation, Dongfang Yan no longer hesitated. Now that he had made the decision, he decided to take action. I want to make Yun AI Breeding House famous all over the world and become the best among its peers. Chapter 59. Are you ready? Sister Wan Wan stood on the battlefield. He took out his advanced Pokémon ball and looked down at Dongfang Yan. Sister Wan Wan is already many heads taller than Dongfang Yan. That's right, Pokémon battles are a test for Sister Wan Wan. Even if you are a Pokémon breeder, you must have strong strength to protect yourself. Otherwise, how can you deal with others? You know, when you meet those bad guys, they won't care whether you are a real Pokémon trainer or not. They only know how to bully the weak and fear the strong. So it is better to rely on yourself than on others. Dongfang Yan wanted to cling to someone powerful, even though he had already clung to Mutuo and recognized Mutuo as his big brother. But what Sister Wanwan said is right. It is impossible to ask Mutuo for help in everything. That won't get you any help, it will only get you further away from Mutuo and your own goal. The real power lies in your own hands. Ready? Dongfang Yan took out Pang Yanghuai's pokeball. Just one day ago. So, Sister Wanwan, you actually agreed. Dongfang Yan jumped up in surprise after hearing Sister Junjun's reply. Sister Wanwan just smiled and nodded. There's nothing to lie to you about this, but before that, you have to pass a test from me, and then I can truly join your team. After hearing this, Dongfang Yan patted his chest and spoke with his head held high. Sister Wanwan, just tell me what test you want. I will go through fire and water and die without hesitation. Come on, you only have a mouth to talk, and you only have a mouth that can go through fire and water. Sister Wanwan rolled her eyes. Her innocent face looked quite charming when she rolled her eyes. Only. The test is simple. Fight me and last 5 rounds in my hands. What? It's so easy, just 5 rounds. Dongfang Yan shouted with joy, Sister Wanwan just loves me. Okay, when does it start? The day after tomorrow, I have something to do tomorrow. Sister Wanwan replied. Dongfang Yan thought to himself that this was a sure win, so he nodded and said, okay, see you the day after tomorrow. After saying that, he turned and left. But Sister Wanwan showed an ambiguous smile behind her. You now Ecological Park. Brother Pang Yanghuai, come out and fight with me tomorrow. If you win, you will get a big reward. Inside the small cave. Well, Dongfang Yan looked up at the huge monster with a flashlight. Pang Yan shook his head strangely and pointed at his wife next to him. Dongfang Yan turned his head and saw the female Pang Yan monster lying beside him, motionless, looking at Dongfang Yan and the male Pang Yan monster. What's the matter? I saw you fighting in the forest but you didn't fight back. I took you out to fight today, but why are you still unwilling? Pang Yanghuai shook his head again and pointed at the belly of the female Pang Yanghuai. You mean, your wife is pregnant? Dongfang Yan suddenly reacted. That's awesome, are you kidding me? Real or fake? Pang Yanghui nodded and lowered his head shyly. Dongfang Yan turned his head and saw that the female Pang Yan monster also shyly lowered her head and hid behind another Pang Yan monster. How about this, come out with me to fight tomorrow, and I'll pay for your wife's nutritious meals. Dongfang Yan said generously. Pang Yan was surprised when he heard this and thought, if that's the case, then there's no problem, it's just a small matter. So, 1 person and 1 Pokémon, they hit it off right away. Dongfang Yan moved closer to the female Pang Yan monster and put his ear on its belly. Why is there no movement? Pang Yanghuai. That is to say, is there a possibility that all Pokémon are oviparous and are just a stone? Are you ready? Sister Wanwan took out her advanced Pokeball. Let your Pang Yan monster out. I've seen you fight before, and you handled it pretty well. Let me see where your limits are. Dongfang Yan smiled confidently, hee, I couldn't ask for more. Come out, Pang Yan monster. A red light flashed, and a huge rock monster fell from the sky and landed on the battle platform, stirring up a large cloud of dust. This battle platform is within Sister Junjun's hospital and generally not many people use it. I happened to come here to try it out today. It's very impressive. Then try this. He pressed the button on the advanced Pokeball. Come out, Karam. There was also a flash of red light. A red figure instantly appeared on the field, with his hands clasped together, 1 foot standing on the ground, and the other foot crossed over his legs. Fighting type. After exchanging glances with Pang Yanga, both of them felt a little guilty. It doesn't matter, it's just 5 rounds. At worst, we can go straight to the hospital. We're fighting in the hospital anyway. Use the Eye of True Vision to test the truth first. Eye of True Seeing. Pokémon, Karam, Level 59. Potential, B. Gender, Male. Attributes, Fighting, Psychic. Status, Healthy. Features, Yoga Power, due to the power of yoga, the power of physical attacks is doubled. Inherited skills, See-Through, Hold On, Frozen Fist. Basic skills, Self-Motivation, Flying Knee Kick, Double Return. Skill CD, None. Carrying props, Karam Mega Stone. Note, this is a meditation Pokémon. It is said that through meditation, the power in the body will increase, the sixth sense will become sharper, and it will become one with the mountains and fields, eliminating its own aura. Gym level trainer, Megastone, fighting type, you want me to last 5 rounds? Although Panjiangwai is also over level 50, Panjiangwai is only level 54, which is 5 levels less than it. So what if it has more levels? Still, he was killed in seconds. Sister Wan, did you take the wrong Pokémon? Dongfang Yan answered weakly. Pang Yangui kept nodding beside him. Looking at the thing opposite, he felt a strong sense of oppression. My wife finally got pregnant, I don't want to be beaten. You got it right. It's Karam. Stop talking nonsense. Today I'll teach you a lesson on what it means to fight a rabbit with all your strength even if it's a lion. Karam, Mega Evolution. Sister Wan took out the necklace from her chest and slapped it hard. In an instant, a white light spiraled out from Sister Juan's body. Similarly, a red light spiraled out from the Mega Evolution stone on Karam's body. The two rays of light intertwined in the air, and when they reached the same frequency, Karam instantly completed the Mega Evolution. The light disappeared, and Mega Karam revealed its true form. Karam had a ball of white cloth wrapped around his head, a yellow gem adorned his forehead, a red ball of cloth floated above his head, and 4 pieces of white cloth spread out behind him, also floating in the air. Mega Karam appears. Chapter 60. Karam. Sister Wan looked at Dongfang Yan, who looked embarrassed. He smiled and said, "What's wrong? Did you choose to back down because of the huge difficulties you faced? How can you realize your so-called dreams and goals with these words? Is this your answer to me?" Under Sister Juan's continuous questioning, Dongfang Yan remained silent. After a moment, Dongfang Yan raised his head and looked at Sister Wan with firm eyes. "I'm not backing down. I'm just wondering how I can last 5 rounds in your hands." The sharp eyes and ambitious words all show that Dongfang Yan is still determined to persist for 5 rounds. As if feeling Dongfang Yan's determination, Pang Yanga's eyes, which were originally a little frightened, still looked a little frightened. In that case, the key falls and the game begins. Sister Wan took out a bunch of keys and threw them into the sky. 3, 2, 1. Snapped. Pang Yangwai, Iron Wall. Karam, Self-Motivation. Both sides used their enhancement skills at the same time. One strengthened his attack, the other strengthened his defense. Quick reaction, Karam, Flying Knee Kick. Sister Wan ordered quickly. Mega Karam was very fast and rushed out almost the moment Sister Wan said the word fly. This can only be achieved quickly if there is a perfect understanding between you and the Pokémon trainer. Hold on. Dongfang Yan is not to be outdone, this is already the 2nd round. Bang! Mega Karam kicked the giant rock monster on its shield. It directly stirred up strong wind and sand, making a whistling sound. Fortunately, I didn't save my skills to gamble on the success rate of the flying knee kick. Otherwise, this kick would have left him half dead, and if it triggered a critical hit, he would have been killed instantly. Throw mud. Dongfang Yan quickly gave instructions, hoping to use the mud throwing skill to reduce the hit rate of Mega Karam's skills. The hit rate of the flying knee kick was not very good, but this way, the probability of survival will be greatly increased. The giant rock monster threw large mud blocks, trying to confuse Mega Karam's vision. A typical old 6 play, the mud flew towards the Mega Karam, while Karam just stayed where he was. With one foot standing on the ground, he raised his head and watched silently as the attack approached. Something's wrong. Pang Yangwai, hold on. Sister Wan smiled knowingly. Mega Karam passed right through it, without getting stained by any mud, not even a speck of it. Karam, now, flying knee kick. Pang Yangwai hurriedly put up a shield, but within a few seconds, the shield disappeared. Mega Karam appeared in front of Pang Yangwai like lightning, raised his foot, and kicked Pang Yangwai directly into the field. Boom! The violent noise echoed throughout the battlefield, and many doctors rushed over when they heard the noise. Dongfang Yan fanned away the sand and ran to the edge of the pit to check on Pang Yangwai's injuries. Pang Yangwai was so scared that he closed his eyes and stayed in the pit trembling. Mega Karam next to him was brushing off the dust around his body. Quietly exited the Mega Evolution state. Thank you for your hard work, Pang Yangwai. Dongfang Yan took out the Pokeball and took the Pangean monster back. I'm sorry, Sister Wan Wan, I disappoint you. Dongfang Yan said dejectedly, there is no other way, if you don't use it completely, which is what is often said in the game to completely resist the enemy's attack, continuous use may fail. This is just a matter of probability, but in 5 rounds, it counts as using 1 round and resting 1 round. There were also 2 rounds in which we were completely in a passive situation. It can be said that it was very difficult to win. But more importantly, this is not like in the game where you hit me and I hit you. When I commanded Pangean Monster to use the mud throwing skill, Sister Wan Wan has completed the communication with Karam through tacit understanding, or something else. Mega Karam has used see-through. This skill can completely see through the opponent's moves and has almost the same effect as guarding. Not only did he see through his own skills, but he also seized the opportunity to use his skills directly, the flying knee kick. And this kick obviously hit the target. Because the shield disappeared the moment Pang Yangwei started defending. At that time, Mega Karam had already appeared in front of Pang Yangwei. It can be said that it was not just a kick, but more likely a critical hit. Plus the double damage from the power of yoga and the double damage from the fighting system. It can be directly and unilaterally announced that Pang Yangwei has failed directly and is half dead in an instant. But at the last moment, Mega Karam relied on his ultimate control over his body. The kick missed the target, causing the entire battlefield to sink a little. It can be said that it is extremely terrifying. The improvement of Mega Evolution is not only in speed, but also in physical attack. If any other Pokémon had been hit hard like this, there would hardly be any need to call the Pokémon Center. You can start eating right away. This is no joke. In the game, the Pokémon was injured and on the verge of death. You can stop and go on the road, and slowly come to the Pokémon Center for rescue. How can you teleport people unless it is a special Pokémon? But in reality, if it is not treated in time, then the final result can only be death. The beautification of the game makes Dongfang Yan somewhat ignore the cruelty of the world itself. This is not an anime, not a game, this is a real Pokémon world. It is battle, strategy, passion, optimism, tactics, cooperation, sincerity, even betrayal, and all kinds of magical scenes. We feel sad for the sacrifice of Pokémon, happy for the victory in battle, touched by the pure love between Pokémon, angry for the mischievous behavior of Pokémon, and for all kinds of. This is the world of Pokémon. Sister Wan Wan took out her advanced ball, put Karam back into the Pokeball, and smiled again. He reached out and touched Dongfang Yan's head. How to say? Although you didn't really pass my test, your courage, your seriousness, and your persistence still moved me. Pokémon battles are definitely not as simple as just using a few skills and giving a few random commands. You have a chance of winning this battle, but that's not my goal. I want to see if you can remain calm and composed under pressure, or if you want to run away. Obviously, you didn't disappoint me. The battle between Pokémon, if coupled with the bond of Pokémon trainers, is not just an ordinary battle, but a battle of trust and courage. It's not just about wanting to have an invincible Pokémon or a Pokémon with a very high race value. It's about having the determination to keep fighting with your Pokémon. This is the true meaning of Pokémon battles. You understand?